Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of CCG Poker TV, coming at you with the November/October free roll.
Yeah, I don't know at this point.
I don't know which one. I've gone back and forth.
And then we name it one thing on the file,
Right.
or the folder's one thing, but
Right.
then we name the actual video a different thing, and
Yeah.
then we tell you guys a third month.
Right.
We really have no idea what's going on.
So this is the free roll that took place in November.
Yes,
a
for
week
the
ago.
October's winners.
For the October points qualifiers. We got some regular faces in here. You got Vanessa in the middle of the table there. Chris is a new player coming in. Sony, the ever-effective, I think he's made every single final table.
Yeah, he's maybe missed one.
Which either means he's the best player at CCG, or you guys got to get a little bit more loyal.
Yeah.
I mean, and Mung is back in there. Joe Chen, he's another good local customer. Local being a loyal customer, loyal and local.
Both. They're all probably local, but
I'm getting the camera set up here, so it'll get slightly better.
oh, we got Marty in the one. I was trying to figure out who that was.
Marty's in the 1 seat. You got
Zoran in the 4.
Yep. Steve is in
Steve. Party
2
time,
seat.
Steve in the 2 seat.
He's
There
currently
he is.
wearing the Bryson DeChambeau Cups hat and our current chip leader.
Great.
Didn't he had tens versus aces early?
Nearly I would have won that hand.
He had tens versus
yeah,
aces early, and he flopped a 10.
Yeah, third hand.
Yeah, and they
Tens against
it
aces.
was like a bet and a raise.
Queen 10 3.
He called with tens, the raise, and bing, bing, boom. Just that's how you lose with aces.
So he loses with aces.
You want to know how not to lose with aces? Listen to episode 75 of the Overlay of Poker podcast, How to Play Pocket Aces to Improve Your Poker Game.
Nice.
Yep, not bad.
So Mung is definitely the shorty. 4,100.
Oh boy.
3-6 with a 600 big blind Annie. Fresh off a break.
Fresh off a break. I think I'm wearing the same outfit today as I was then.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
supposed to be my Saturday outfit.
And I will 100% judge your play when we do the commentary.
Yeah, we all know that. Yeah, I've heard the commentary.
Sony's wearing the Bulls hat and the Bears shirt,
Yep.
which I dig.
True Chicagoan.
Got University of Illinois represented there by Chris in the middle of the table. Vanessa's all smiles because she just beat everybody at ping pong on break. Nobody can beat her.
Yep. It's all true. So Mung bets 1,000.
25% of her stack. And I think she ends up.
Chris just mugs.
Yeah.
Takes it
A
down.
big blind.
She needed that one. 6,900. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
that's
big
nice-
pot when you
yeah.
only got 4,000 in chips.
It's
You win a
true.
$7,000 pot.
Yeah.
That's the bonus.
So we started with what, 20K?
20,000, 15-minute levels, October 3K free roll that takes place in November.
Right.
We'll get there eventually for next year, folks. We only got one more of these
Which is the
free rolls.
November, December.
We're halfway through. We're halfway through the November points list.
Yeah.
So
We got
this
2
is your
more weeks
last
left.
chance. You got this weekend, because we're recording this on a Saturday. So you get the rest of this weekend. You get Thanksgiving weekend, and then that's it, right? Thanksgiving's the last weekend of November.
Is it?
I don't think there's any more.
December 2nd is Friday, December 2nd.
Yep. So you got one more weekend. So if you haven't planned on playing the Black Friday Early Bird or the Gold Strike, this is our shameless plug time because it's in the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Right.
Get in there because
Yeah.
after November points list is done, you get a little breather in December. We'll do this free roll for the $6,000 free roll in December, and then starting January 1, 2023, the year of the Jordan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it. It's pretty awesome, right? Think I could trademark that really fast?
Probably.
Yeah, I probably could. Year of the Jordan's coming up,
Yeah.
and we're going to give away two WSOP main event seats, correct?
Correct.
2 seats are going to go to CCG players. It's going to be awesome.
Same basically format. We're just
Same format, except
juice in the prize pool.
juice in the prize pool. So you can, each month is its own points list.
Yep.
So the top 5
Yep.
on each month from the tournament side, and the top 5 cash game logged hours, meaning 10 players total, 5 from tournament, 5 from cash each month, qualify for the big free roll in June. The top 2 prizes being
Main event
dream packages. Maybe not dream packages. Dream packages would be like dinner with Ivy and a quick lesson from Danny Negreanu.
First class with
airfare. Right. You're not. This is Southwest and staying on the Strip in a $49.99
Treasure Island,
Treasure
Southwest.
Yeah.
But you got a main event seat to go.
But you're going to play in the main event. Like, it's the best we can do here. All right, Joe's got King Jack. He flops a Jack. Sony's got the Ace 5. Sony, I noticed he's been digging kind of the Fletch hands. Remember Fletcher?
Oh, I remember.
Who loved the low baby aces, the Ace 5s, the Ace 6s, the Ace 7s, the Ace 3s. Not even the wheel combos. He likes the weirdo hands. The Ace 6, the Ace 7, the Ace 8. They are really hard to play. Not in the top 6 most difficult poker hands to play, which you can find on the Overlay, a poker podcast.
Oh, you're good. We're at the 552 mark.
Yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Goodbye.
Stacks haven't changed much.
Nope. We're just kind of getting into the feel of the table.
And there was actually, it was Marty's first time, Steve's first time, Chris's first time on the table. So we did have some newbies on the table trying to get used to,
Table worked great, though.
Where to put the cards.
Except for Steve.
Yeah.
Steve ended up not being able to get his stuff together.
Yeah, I know, Steve. You got to talk to Ken about where that circle's. And I'm like, well, Steve, it's a square.
Yeah.
Underneath the circle.
Correct.
And they weren't like measured out to be on top of each other.
No, and that felt's been changed like 200 times. We do it for corporate events back and forth. It's nuts. All right, let's see if Sony can make something happen here with this 6 deuce. Zoran with a couple of 7s.
So we got a limp train going on. Everybody's limping, and Marty checks. We're going 2, 4, 6 ways to the flop.
Check. 1,200. You got 500 in the rails.
Oh, you might need that later. Free money. You just want 500 more.
Ace, Queen, 5, flop. Nobody flops anything? Chris has a queen, I see. Vanessa has a gutter ball. I'm looking at Vanessa. She's got king high and she's got 23% equity. It's kind of crazy in a 6-way pot. She does call. Turns a 5. Pairs the board. Check. And river 6. And Vanessa loses after she shows her king high. And Chris wins it with a queen. Hey.
Queen's a winner.
I mean, ace high board 6 ways. You're just happy to take on the pot with the queen. So nobody's in, dire, huge big time trouble here. Mung has 11 bigs. Everybody else sitting over 20, 30, 40 bigs. So not too many shorties right now, as we are only like an hour and a half into this sit and go. We do play Big Blind Annie until 5, and then at 5 it gets cut in half. Gives the players a little break.
I think they forgot about it, and then we lost. So they didn't do it till 4.
Oh, yeah. You just
But
lost.
that's fine.
Bang, bang.
Just bang.
Vanessa's out of there. Chris is probably out of there. Mung's out of there. We're on to Joe. 5-4 diamonds in the cutoff.
Raise to 1,600.
It's going to be an open.
I like it.
Yeah,
Everybody limps to you. You're in the cutoff. You got to get some action going here. Hope the button doesn't have a real hand, which he doesn't.
Steal the blinds.
Marty's probably going to call with Queen 9 suited.
Nope. He doesn't
What do
call
I
it
know?
queen, no.
Steve's obviously calling with the 8-4.
Right. You got those, switched. One would think the Queen 9 suited would call and the 8-4 would fold, but,
Nah.
not here at the CCG.
Steve dominating Joe in this hand with the 8-4.
flops middle
Flop
pair.
is 8-7-9.
How'd you come up with 8s? How'd you read that?
Oh, that's how it came
8-7-9?
out on the board. That's how I saw it come out.
Okay.
I didn't read the graphic.
I'm like looking at the graphic. I'm like 9-8-7. That's cool. 8-9-7. That's cool. But 8-7-9. Yeah. All right. So Joe C bets 1,200. Steve looks him up with an 8. We got a turn of
2,000.
something. This is one of the few hands.
Yeah,
Ace on
ace.
the turn. Joe bets the turn. Steve gives it up. 2 barrels for Joe. Gets it done.
I think that might be the best bluff I've seen in a long time.
It's good. Just, repping the ace.
It's the whole idea of if at first you don't succeed, just keep firing fucking bullets. Literally that's it. That should be a t-shirt. If at first you don't succeed, just keep firing bullets.
Yep, and then I mean the ace. I mean, if you're going to see bet on 9,
It's a
8,
good
7,
ace,
and you
yeah.
get an ace,
Yep.
you're gonna. I mean, it's
Yep.
like, all right, now I
And
can
if,
continue my
and if
story.
Steve actually had anything, you're going to get re-raised there, and Joe finds out very quickly. That's what I like when you watch on television for, like, you know, the main events and things of that nature. When you see that, like, next level play where, like, Joe is repping the ace, and then Steve comes over the top with like another bluff, trying to bluff the fact that he's probably just bluffing the fact that he raised in the cutoff with a weird hand, and now he's repping an ace, but he doesn't actually have an ace. But Steve actually has a good hand, and he thought that he know that you knew that I know that you think that he has an ace.
Got it.
Right.
Yeah. Just how we drew it up.
It's exactly how they talk about it in all those fancy schmancy master classes.
All right, so Mug.
This was the day of pocket pairs, though.
It was.
Yeah.
So she's raising it to 1,500 off of 6,600. So she's got 12 bigs. She's choosing the greedy route as I want to flop a set and get it all, as opposed to just jamming it here and maybe winning a race to double up.
True.
She wants to. She's taking the high variance approach of I'm probably gonna whiff, but when I hit, maybe I can triple
maybe
up
get
or,
two paid off,
right,
yeah,
or more.
Or I'm just out.
And I mean, look, we got all these calls. Nobody would have called these. All right, Zoran's in with 8s. Vanessa's in with the King 7 of clubs, and we're going 5 ways to the flop.
5 ways to the flop.
6, 4, 2. Rainbow. That's a set for Mung.
Ooh, God, it's so sweet to have pocket 4s. Hey, did you see a 4 come out? I mean, what are you dreaming about? When you go to bed,
5K.
when you go to bed and dream about poker, is that what you dream about?
I like to turn sets. That's what does it. for
Really?
me. Yeah. Because like nobody's ever
Turn a
expecting
set
to
over
turn
a set?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just it's so bad.
Like if Zoran just drilled an 8 on the turn here.
don't say that.
I just
Don't
that would be
say
that would be that just
No.
like that's exactly what
don't say
dreams
that.
are made of. Zoran just drilling an 8 on the turn. Nobody's ever gonna put him on 8s.
Every time I hear Zoran, all I think about is Zoltan from
I
Big.
think of Zorro, the like sword guy.
Oh, it's like
black
if you
and
put,
white.
if Zoltar and Zorro had a kid, it would be Zoran.
1600.
Right,
He's the
we're just
best.
missing the L, but yeah,
He's such a
Okay.
good customer.
Almost.
It's a 9. That's so scary.
All right, so
All
now
right, Marty.
Look at this.
How
Now,
is Marty still in this
he
hand?
called 1,000. She bet 1K into 8K on the flop. She's trying to get it all. Milking.
You know what?
1,600.
Marty's out now. Zoran's gonna call with the 8s because really 8s. This is kind of a dream board.
This is great. Obviously that helps.
Say goodnight, Mung.
She's got 2,500 left into a 14K pot.
it's the
She's
last.
obviously not gonna like the result here.
I got 8s. Mother son of a. The best face ever. Hey, rightfully so.
Figured that you would.
Mike, how do you do this to me? Mike, how do you...
Every time I come,
She's so mad. I mean, that was a rough
like,
one.
I want more.
That was a rough one. You flopped your dream, and then they just... Like, hey...
Like a full triple up, she's back to like
She-
20K.
She was like a kid on, like, Make-A-Wish. Oh, we're going to let you have your dream day with Jordan. Oh, actually, he decided to play golf.
Right.
You're out.
You're out.
Here's... I don't know.
$50.
Here's Adam Sandler for you. What a letdown. She's still bad-mouthing Mike. I love how she's not mad at Zoran. She's mad at Mike,
Right,
the dealer.
on the way I look at Mike. Mike's got that little wry
just-
smile, like,
mad at her.
it's kind of sick.
It was not Mike's day in ping pong after the free roll. I took him out.
Yeah,
Big time.
glad you guys played a lot of.
Yeah, got him out. All right, big slick from Chris.
Now we talked about this in episode
76.
76.
Yeah, or 77.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And what did you
They
have?
really are good episodes, though.
Yeah, they are.
You don't listen to the podcast. It's basically this minus the video.
So we talked about, limping in with Ace King and how that could be like troublesome because, you're going to it's going to go multi-way now. And like, as we see here, like this is kind of a prime example. Now, because we limped, we're going 4 ways and you're 36%, which is still good 4 ways. But like 8,
He's still a favorite.
but like 8-5 has 16% equity, doesn't need to be in the hand. 9-6.
Well, look, and the flop comes out, Jack 8-7. Literally, he goes from first to last.
Yep.
69's got an open ender. Ace King got nothing. Queen Jack flop top pair, and Zoran flop middle pair. Also, a reason not to play the 8-5 offsuit. I guess he was the small blind.
Yeah.
Problem is when you hit, you
$20.
you play shitty cards, you get a shitty part of the flop. And I hate
true.
saying it that way because I'm trying to swear less because I've noticed my swearing's got out of control.
Has it?
I don't know. I
I
think
mean, you
so.
did throw an F-bomb in here already.
I did. So I'm trying to work on my politically correctness of not swearing, but I get it. Chris ends up folding the best hand pre-flop. Vanessa jams it with her open-ender, which
now,
I
interesting,
love.
Chris-
and Steve
Yeah.
is thinking about folding top. He did.
Steve mucked, and I think Steve just got a little like gun shy there. I think afterwards he realized how
No, 2 pairs. That's what I did.
little chips it was compared to his chip stack, and then he had top pair, and then I think he regrets it, and he's like, you had 10-9. He even says he probably had 10-9 for an open ender. She did have an open ender, it was just 9-6.
Right.
So he was right.
The other open-ender.
Right, but hey, that's why you play your draws. Give yourself 2 chances to win.
That's why you bet your draws, because you give yourself 2 chances to win.
Okay. Nice one.
Who needs to turn it straight when you can just win it on the flop? With a
Win it outright.
Same.
Vanessa with dream cards, queen 9 suited, some of my favorite cards.
See, it always confuses me of the order that they put them in.
There's the 2100.
There's got to be some kind of algorithm.
Well, I think it's just small blind, big blind. But
And
it
then that middle-
starts with the
yeah,
third
it's
hand.
weird.
It is.
Especially when I go backwards.
Added the 2 to the 6.
Oh, I
9, 10
went
you
back.
want
This
to
is
bet.
me.
So you will
Make a
probably
mistake here.
milk it.
Yeah. I think I had to up the blinds. Yeah.
400, 800 now,
Yep.
folks.
Blinds
Oh,
are
yeah,
up.
the blind's definitely going to blind
Yep.
stand.
There we go. Blinds are up.
Some people
All right, Joe opens 2100 with Queen Jack off. Steve's out. Zoran's out. Vanessa decides not to press her luck, which I do sometimes, right? Like if
You win a pot, you queen 9, it's like, all right, let me
it
just
looks
flop
good,
another flush,
like,
and then we're in there.
right?
It's such a bad mindset.
I mean,
we do it all the time.
I know, and I don't know how to get out of that because, like, that's 100% true. I feel like I'm pressing my luck, or other times I'm just like pedal to the metal, man. Just keep going.
Right.
That's how I end up with big stacks down to little stacks down to big stacks down to little stacks. I mean, you just keep doing this roller coaster, which is just it's off-putting at times,
It's off-putting.
and I don't like to get off-putting.
Yeah, I'm a more on-putting kind of guy.
On-putting.
All right. Sony's out of there. Marty's out of there.
Pretty slow cards for this hand.
Steve, Queen Jack of clubs. This is
Yeah, that
gonna be
was
Steve's
like a
happy with
miracle
that.
card.
Raise 2,000 standard.
The blinds are 4-8. You like the? I like a 2,000.
I like 2,000's perfect.
I don't understand.
1,800's fine. But you just don't want to put
I
all
don't
those
like.
chips.
I don't
You
like
just
the
wanna
black
put up
chips.
two.
I like to make whole numbers. I like whole numbers because it makes the math simpler and
Like you mean there's exactly 4,000 in the pot right now.
correct. Sony is a big guy who does a lot of, like, even late in the tournament, he'll bet like 8,600. I'm just like, why? Why are we doing 8,600? It's like then the dealer has to make change.
Yeah, it's all random. Yeah, it's just random numbers.
And they're random anyway. It's like make it 8,500 if you're gonna make it an odd number. I don't. I just do whole numbers.
Maybe you only do odd numbers.
Maybe because maybe that's the pot limit Omaha in me that I just want to make it. I don't understand
Round,
when people
easy,
go.
simple.
Yeah, like they're like $96. Just make it 100. Like, are you really gonna get?
I
How
hope
many
you
people
win.
are going to call 96
You've never
versus
won a
100
tournament in your life.
in the long run here? Short of how many less hands you're getting an hour because you're making the dealer make change because of your stupid fucking bet.
Whoa!
I know, I'm pissed about this.
Jeez!
I
You're
didn't
gonna die
realize-
on this hill. Wow!
I didn't realize how bad this was.
Poker pet peeves. We might need to make a part 2.
Oh my god, what a great, that's a great episode.
Post-pandemic pet peeves.
Don't stop saying, stop, I gotta,
Peeves. A lot of peas.
I gotta get some podcast episode stuff in here. This is great. This
All
is-
right.
this is gold.
Marty's opening a 2,000 under the gun here for anybody who cares about poker. Chris is calling on the button with ace-6 of diamonds.
Steve. 3 players.
And Joe came along in the small blind with the ace-10 offsuit. King high flop. Best hand goes to Marty currently. Let's see if he's going to fire or if the king is going to slow him down. He does check. Chris is
2,500.
instantly reaching for chips and just fires out 2,500 on the button. He says, if nobody's got a king, I'm going to pretend I got a king.
Sometimes it's good to pretend.
And Marty mucks 9. So look at Chris is like, see, sometimes I got nothing, guys. Shows the bluff.
I know Marty's going to watch the whole thing, and I'm glad that he is. But I feel like Marty might need to. My only recommendation for Marty's play, which I never really do, but I feel like Marty's 100% going to watch all 2 hours of this.
Marty's like
analyze
perking
the whole
off. Like,
thing.
as we speak, Marty's like,
Marty, what up, bro?
ready to bluff,
You
dude?
can tell your friends, your family, your wife, husband, whatever it is out there. You can say, "Hey, look, I actually do know these guys. They do know my name.
I do exist.
I do exist." Marty's got to mix it up a little bit. I feel like he gets put off of hands. I would like to see him mix up his play occasionally. You got to throw a bluff in there every once in a while, Marty. Bluff. Even for the purpose of bluffing, losing a small pot, and then showing that you're capable. Hey, look, I bluffed. I had nothing. Woo!
Yeah.
I tried.
Or like just like thinking, I haven't really looked at any of Marty's hands, but like the Queen Nine of Spades, like just like call there, like knowing that it's not a great hand, but like just so you can maybe show down.
Yeah.
Like that's one of those hands
That you're
where
capable of going the whole
right.
distance.
And
with
that's
the
a
Queen
good
Nine.
hand, but you know they would look at it like, oh wow, Queen Nine.
Like
Marty?
maybe I've also got 2 hours of experience of watching
That's
Marty
true.
play
We're
on
only
the
on
table.
hand,
You're on hand like 4 or 5.
7.
Yeah. So like this is like future knowledge. This is
Yeah.
future Ken telling you this.
Future Ken telling
Marty.
past Marty.
Mix it up a little bit. Play some garbage. Like Ace Jack. Every time he shows down, he's got really quality hands, which is good.
It is
Don't
good.
get me wrong. That's a strong poker move. But I feel like you're susceptible to some bluffs and to some different plays by players who play enough with you and know.
Yeah,
They
so
can
if
get you off of
if
a
they
hand.
can define your range super narrow,
Yeah,
then
they can play against
They can play good against you even if you're playing good.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Even if
absolutely.
you're not making any mistakes, but because your range is so narrow,
Yeah.
they can play almost perfectly against you, and then it's just like perfect playing against perfect, or you know,
Right.
you can get exploited because they know.
I like that idea. You can get exploited
Because they know.
if
your
players
range.
think you are a super tight, aggressive player and you don't mix it up every once in a while. You know who does a really great job of super tight, aggressive player who comes off at times and I'm like, wow, I can't believe you just pulled that bluff off?
Greek John,
Is he tight, super tight,
he's pretty
aggressive?
tight.
Wow.
See, there you go, there you go.
No, I was not thinking him. I was thinking the nit.
Oh, Pat.
Pat.
Yeah. Pat.
Pat plays the tight, aggressive nit really well, and it's not a bad term. I'm saying in general, it's a loving terminology. He plays that part really well, and occasionally he just fires off these like boo, 7
like
deuces,
3 barrels, and he's got 6-4 off.
He got nothing.
And like because they're capable of it, now it just makes everything else a lot harder to play.
Correct.
Just because they showed the 6-4 one time, you now have it in the back of your head for years.
Win or lose, you win that hand.
Correct.
Either you're setting a precedent that I'm fully capable of having
blasting
6-4.
off 800 here with 6-4 off.
Right. It's worth it. It's an $800 investment into your poker personality, your poker
You
persona.
probably write that off on your deck.
Yeah. I'm gonna put that
I
down.
lost that one pot.
I lost 40K playing PLO. What were you doing there? Well, I was putting in my poker personality.
Improving
I'm
my
investing in my persona.
Right, your future winnings.
My future winnings are
because of
based
your-
off of this. This is like market research.
I love it. Chris is going to take down another pot here when he turns an ace, and he's going to show it and say, hey, sometimes I got the goods.
Sometimes I got the goods, sometimes I don't
Sometimes
got
I'm
the goods.
bluffing, sometimes I'm not. So, Steve, we've seen the stacks tighten up a little bit now that Mung has been eliminated. That 20 to 30K range pretty much fits everybody besides, Steve at the top and Vanessa and Sony on the bottom.
Yeah. But again, you get one double up from either one of those.
Yep, everybody's
rotates.
that's the thing about sit and goes, and we say this every time. Everybody's always in it because Vanessa's literally the short stack, and if she doubles off of Steve, she's almost chip leader and Steve's almost short stack. And there's 8 players left, so everybody pretty much has an even chance here based on their chips. Well, actions on Vanessa with the ace-jack under the gun. This is interesting. Ace-jack under the gun, offsuit, probably, the bottom of your under the gun opening range, I would assume. And she's just going to limp in. Ace-jack's kind of tricky to play. We're going to see Sony here.
You're going to see
With
an
King
ace
Jack.
10, ace jack, king jack, jacks. I really hope Steve gets in the mix here with the 5-4.
All right, so we have a Vanessa limp, and then we have a Sony raise, and he just doubled it. And now we're to Marty on the button with jacks.
What do you do with jacks here?
You got a raise.
I think he did. I think he made it
6,000.
6,000. Good bet, Marty.
So here's what raising does. A, you're on the button with the premium hand. B, you have Zoran here with ace 10. Definitely would have called 1600.
Absolutely.
He's now going to be bounced out of the pot here, probably because, and then
Marty
you might even
raised.
get Vanessa out with ace jack. So now you got, 2 of the aces gone.
And now
And
you're down to-
instead of fading ace and a king, you just need to fade a king.
Right.
And, this is if Sony even calls.
Which
But
I
this is
can't
a win-win
imagine.
for Marty. He's
And I
either
think
going to
right
win
now,
the pot.
I remember, hold on. I think he's
The worst. Maybe aces.
maybe aces. I think he said, I think you've got queens, maybe aces,
Jacks?
jacks. Close. I mean, Sony put him on a really good read there. I mean, that's.
Kind of what you were just saying.
Just like what you just did.
I mean, you almost pegged him perfect.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
It's hard to not get exploited when
You
people
gotta
hit.
invest
Suspect, I'm
in
not threat to you.
your
Leave me alone.
ability. Right, you gotta invest in your
Not
image.
even image, you're just
It
ability.
is. It's your
to-
table image. If you don't invest in that image, at every single game you play, you've got to set a precedent. You get known as a tight player who's only got the goods, is only betting when they got the goods,
You
then
never
other
get an
players
action
can do
for
it.
King Jack.
$1,000 bet.
Before I can-
Sony's got a big chip stack there. He's a chip leader. He jams all in, 40K in chips. Marty folds the jacks. Sony shows King Jack. Not that you would do that. I mean, that's a little wild, but that's where you can be exploited.
Raised it.
Marty
Well, because
raised
Marty
there.
would go, Sony's only going to, he knows I have something strong, so Sony's going to only raise if he has
Aces or kings.
Well, that's how you get exploited by King Jack, because thinking that way,
Correct.
now you're going to fold jacks every time, and King Jacks just owns you.
Right.
But
Again, these are like the 1%, 3%.
yeah, these are like hypotheticals.
Correct. But I feel like you got to be able to prevent some of those things because at some times, Marty's actually going to have aces, kings, or queens there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. But, that being said, you 3-bet jacks on the button, everyone folds around, take down the blinds.
That's the best case scenario.
Because nobody knows how to play jacks.
99 problems, but that scenario of
Right.
jacks ain't one of them.
Queen comes up, you're just convinced he's got king, queen. King comes up, he's got ace, king. Ace comes up, you know you lost.
Yeah, you're just
You're
done.
just done. All right, hand 16 here. We're cruising along. We got dealer Mike up after a long night of video gaming to
Call.
volunteer his services here. Marty, king 10. Offsuit. Bucks. And Steve's out of there with a random hand. Probably wasn't very good if Steve's not playing it. And Vanessa folds her small blind, and Chris checks. We're going heads up to the flop. Chris with a big hand here in the big blind, ace 10 of hearts. Has Sony dominated, flops another ace. I expect him to lead out as he always does.
1,500.
Perfect. Sony has a gutter ball. I mean, he knows he's probably up against an ace, which maybe is giving him more incentive to call, but he's going to get out of the way here.
Yeah,
Sony's on a 10K stack. You can't really put in
30K stack
15%.
Sony,
Right.
he's probably going to peel a
one.
card.
Then
Yeah.
maybe you can rep diamonds, do some cool stuff later in the hand, but you're just handicapped when you got 12 big blinds.
Yeah.
There's not
You
much
can't
can
do those.
Yeah, you're
You
handcuffed.
can't play
you
around.
just got to muck. Steve's still our chip leader. It's probably the longest
Yeah.
he's hung on to chips in a while, but he's playing good for the camera. 4-8-8. It's just kind of, you look around and it's like the pathways that the different people took to get. Like Joe probably only played deep stacks and late nights.
Yep.
Late nights to get points after he probably shipped a deep stack.
And he only played the late night because he's
Because
a
he
perfect
shipped the
tournament
deep
player.
stack, yeah.
Or busted the deep stack and he's already there. He's like, well, I'll just play the night. I'll
Right,
play the
I
night
can get
hour, play
points
the late
here.
night. Right.
Yeah. And then, Steve did it primarily like,
Birds, second chances.
The birds and second chances, like the early in the day.
Vanessa kind of plays
She
everything.
plays everything.
She just plays all day.
Yep. Marty's there all day, too.
Yep. He's there all day.
He does. He plays.
Sony plays everything. I mean, he normally is a guy who will come for the deep stack
But then
and then
play
play
whatever.
whatever's afterwards.
Or if he gets off work early, he'll just be like, I'll pop in for the 4 o'clock.
Right.
Or, play the bird on a Sunday.
But for him, the 4 o'clock second chance kind of $40 tournament is the warm-up session
Yep.
to the deep stack.
Yep.
That's the main event.
He's
for
basically
him.
playing that for points.
He don't
Only.
care, right?
All
Not that he doesn't care, but like to him, I feel like Sony's focused on like the deep stack and
Yeah.
and whatnot. Hey, how did the main event numbers work out at the WSOP in Elgin? Because currently, right now, the WSOP in Elgin is
I don't know.
circuit event over at Elgin. I didn't make it out this time.
I played the PLO on Monday.
How was it? Obviously,
I lost. Very well organized.
Really?
And actually,
Why more organized than normal?
I don't know. I'd never ever been there, but like I got from
Elgin?
Yeah, I got from my car.
I've never played poker there either.
From my car to my seat under a 1 minute walk.
So
Maybe
that's
under a
awesome,
45 second
I heard
walk.
a lot of hubbub, and I'm sure we'll hear about it at CCG this week. I heard a lot of people complain about the senior event.
So
They didn't have enough registration people. They had 2 people registering, and they had like a massive turnout for the seniors event, way more than they could have helped. Then they pulled the old, like, we're doing alternates in, which, as somebody who works in the poker industry, I understand I am limited by the number of tables and the number of dealers. I know there are 40 of you waiting. If I could magistically fucking clone 4 dealers here and have them ready for you, I would. I absolutely... Morally just or not, I would do it. But I can't do that because it's physically not possible. So I understand. I get the idea. But like a lot of people were upset that there was like this huge line out the door into the parking lot. Wow. Again, I'm reading this on in the internet, so it may or may not be 100% true or exaggerated to one end.
So a line to the parking lot wouldn't be that far.
Oh, so it is close. So it's possible. Close. So yeah, the line. But then of course, then the one of the floor people came down and was like, okay, that's it. Everybody at the end of this line, you're done. Don't wait because you're not getting in later. And then just pieced and went back inside, which is really, really bad because you hate to have people show up for a tournament and then not be able to play. It's like it's not even the nut low.
It's not even worse than the nut low for money. It's just an experience. Like it could literally deter people from never going.
They hate the WSOP. They hate Elgin. They hate this. We know it because it happens all the time. There are still people on the internet that bitch about CCG because they're like, oh, I went there was 40 people on the list. I'm like, yeah, sir, that was February in 2021 when we were at a 25-person room capacity with 4 tables in a freaking gym to keep them separated enough the way that we wanted to do them, even though we're all playing at a table right next to one another. Like, it's not that we don't want you to play. Right. It's that I physically am not able to do anything different. So, like, that's an unfair, it's an unfair assessment. I understand it. Like, I get it, but it sucks.
So my experience was all great. I didn't even have to walk into any sort of casino. Like, I never made it into the casino.
Right.
It was just... And then I know the poker room was like downstairs and like the buffet, and that was like instantly right in. So it was all very close, very accessible. I didn't really see what was going on in the poker room. They were running like the 6 Max down there and some other stuff. But we had like the ballroom to ourselves for the PLO.
Nice.
And there was, I mean, I don't know, maybe 30 tables in there, and we were only occupying like 13 of them. So there was plenty of... And they were ripping alternates because it's the PLO. And
right. How many people end up playing the PLO?
I would say there was probably like 140 unique people, and there was like 300 entries.
Yeah,
everybody
gets at least one rebuy.
I rebought twice.
Very
fast.
Any idea what the prize pool?
Yeah, PJ got second.
PJ. Oh, accountant PJ. Nice.
Yeah, he got second.
That guy deserves a winner.
Yeah, he took me out and then used my chips well. When I got there in level 3.
Who else was there? Scully
cashed too.
Did he?
Yeah.
We became buddies after, not that he's ever going to listen to our commentary, but him and I became buddies. We finally got over our 10-year hump of him not liking me or CCG. I feel like we bonded at the WSOP at the Horseshoe in February.
Oh, you mended all your bonds.
Yeah.
You got him and...
Oh, no, I'm thinking of the other guy, Justin. Yeah. No, Scully and I never had any beef. I was thinking of Justin, the Wizard. The Wiz.
It's so funny because...
Scully's cool as shit, though.
Scully is cool.
I completely got those two mixed up, the names.
Scully and the Wizard, yeah, they're
Scully and the Wiz.
All right, so we have an important pot here. Steve top 2 in hearts. Joe top pair, top kicker.
Steve's all in. Joe calls and Brick City. Nothing you can do about that one.
I must have left by this point because I don't remember that.
Yep. That's our first bust after Mung. Spelled Ming, but pronounced Mung.
Yes, Mung.
Joe's out. Raised with a better hand. Can't be mad at Steve. He's just flopping hands right now. He flopped 10s versus aces. He had 10s, flopped a 10. He got Jack 9 versus Ace Jack. Bing, bang, boom, flops Jack 9. And again, it's one of those things where if the flop doesn't come out Jack 9 blank, if it's, Queen 9 blank,
or just Jack no 9,
right,
then Steve loses.
Yeah, it's got to come out perfect.
Yeah,
it's
one of those things. Steve can have all the King Jacks, all the Queen Jacks, the Jack 10s. He's got a lot more than has to have top 2 there.
Right. No.
Steve is the guy that he's piling with King Jack there just as much as.
Yep.
So there's nothing. That's just a hand that played itself while we were over here talking about PLO. But yeah, basically every PLO player in Chicago was there. I started looking around.
Every poker player in Chicago was there because I was in New York City.
Yeah. Started looking around.
Raise the 5,600.
Half the time. Oh, how you doing? I haven't seen you yet. Yes.
Hey,
yes,
Billy.
Yes. Everything's great. All right. We have a raise. Sony does not go all in. He leaves himself with 1,000 behind, but he's basically all in here. Zoran with 9s. He's going to shove. Chris limped the King 10, hoping to get a cheap flop, and it's not going to be so cheap. So he's out of there.
I hope you have ace queen.
Zoran with 9s. Sony with jacks. Uh-oh.
Sony was down to 6 bigs. This would be a big double up for Sony, and, really puts him back in the game with a double up here. Dream spot, 82-18.
Yeah.
No 10.
Close to the 9s.
Well, he's calling for no 10. He's not even calling for no 9. He knows the 9's not coming. Oh.
River's a jack.
2 outer on the river.
That's a Jack of Diamond. I like it better.
Except for Sony. All right, so he scores the double, 15,700.
Yep.
I haven't played a hand.
And now Zoran. Yes.
I play Jacks are better, by the way. That's a lot of
Marty is now our new chip leader. Nope, Steve is still a chip leader.
Yeah, there's just
yep, it's player position. This graphic always throws me off.
It just threw me off 8 seconds before I threw you off.
That was I'm talking about since
so Zoran, Vanessa, and Sony all teetering around 12, 13, 14K.
Yeah, I had about 30.
They're not in danger zone yet per se, but Steve's sitting there with the luxury of 70 big blinds.
Almost 80. He's got almost 8. Oh yeah, I got you.
500, 1,000 now.
Yep, they just went up.
Yep.
Feel like I'm a 6.
This is where you're texting me right now. It's great. If you remember what you texted.
Oh yeah.
All right, action is Chris with the Ace King is suited.
Vanessa with 10s.
Chris,
and
you lived
Steve
last
with
time.
Ace King.
Chris,
let's see it.
Raise. There you go. This is how you play Ace King suited. 3,000 under the gun. Let's go.
Fold.
I hope this doesn't come back to bite us.
Fold.
Oh, Steve, Ace King off. And Steve elects to not 3-bet on the button with Ace King offsuit. Vanessa rips it for 9,100.
91.
91?
9,100, yeah.
And Chris snap called. Which, a lot's going on here. Chris is not electing to go all in. And that makes Steve...
Yeah, it gets funky because I was confused about what happened here.
So I went call.
I think Chris called and then Steve called, obviously, and Chris and Vanessa don't have the same amount of chips. I mean, Vanessa went all in, Chris just called, but then they ended up playing it all the way out, or I think they didn't know. It got weird there for a second.
Because there should be a side pot.
So now Chris goes all in on the river, I guess, and then Steve folded. It worked out the same. I mean, they basically ran it down for Vanessa's money.
And hey, when you're up against Ace King, it's a lot nicer to be up against 2 Ace Kings. So much. Because that's only 4 outs, which is, borderline you're dominating only 4 outs.
Yeah.
All right, Steve 62, Marty 40, Vanessa up to 30. And Sony and Zoran here at the bottom. Vanessa finds a double right after we tell her she's short, on cue. $500, 1,000 big blind Annie. Action on Sony with pocket 2s. And he doubles it to 2,000. That's not a tell, Sony. Making it 2 with 2s. Steve with the 10-9. See, this is what I'm saying about Steve getting a little frisky. He's willing to put in chips here with 10-9 offsuit.
So,
And Zoran with King 10 of diamonds is in there. Vanessa's in there with ace 3 off. Obviously, Chris ain't going anywhere with the 8-6 of clubs. 1,000 more to win 11,000.
That's very
Yeah,
smart.
it's one of
You
the ones
don't
where
do
you
it
priced
again.
him
Otherwise,
into calling.
You got to have
It's not
9%
gonna
equity,
happen.
and he had 20. Now he's got 6. 'cause he
Jack, what
whiffed,
do you think I'm
but-
going to do?
Jack.
Sony's 2's not looking so hot, even though they're looking good pre-flop. Zoran turns the nut flush or the nut straight with the open-ended straight flush draw. This is where you're hoping.
Yeah, Steve's
Vanessa's
got
got
the
ace
nine-
3 or
it's-
ace 5 of diamonds. She flopped 2 pair. You could really get some action here. She's betting it like she's got it though. She's betting the blocker.
Smart move. Fold.
Sony's out. Steve's out.
Starting hand.
Get out of there, Steve.
Steve's the one that bet. He's got.
Stay in there, Steve.
Steve's got the open ender. He bet.
Zoran gets mildly counterfeited.
Yeah, he still has the nuts.
Yeah,
But
he's
now-
agitated now, though. That's the worst when you get counterfeited for the nuts. He still bets it because, again, he's got the nuts.
Yeah.
And he's going to find out it was all for nothing. It didn't matter. He
but
was
when you
fading
got
diamond.
when you got king 10 there, you turn the gutter ball,
Yeah.
and now like any king you chop with just really diminishes your hand. And I mean diminishes.
Wow,
his-
you got counterfeited yourself.
poor choice of words since he has the nuts,
Oh
but
my God, that would be great. That
doesn't
would
feel
be
as
the
good
first
to
one.
have the nuts with a 4-card straight.
No, it doesn't.
Hard to get paid off.
Next year, you can do the game.
That's why you also bet small too. That's why you bet small too.
Sony's still the short stack even after the double up, but 14 bigs is a short stack that he can work pretty well. I don't think it's too much of a cause for concern right now.
You're the big blinds, don't you?
So you got to pick the click here? I really have no idea.
For who my choice is?
Yeah.
I know who wins, so it's a little bit harder.
That's true.
But
I might go Marty.
Marty gets good cards. He can do really well. Zoran, I like the way he plays. Steve seems to be running super hot, so he's a good pick. Vanessa, always a good choice. Chris is
You
our
can't just play the field.
mystery reader. I'm playing the field.
You can just play everybody.
And then Sony is our top final tabler of free rolls of all time since Jude moved out of town. Hey, Jude. Jude texted me.
Hey, Jude.
Hey, Jude.
See what you did there.
Jude just texted the other day or Facebooked messaged and was like, hey, you guys keeping the points warm for me when I get back? He must be coming home for Christmas.
Yeah.
So it'll be good to see him.
So we get a limp on the button. We get Chris that completes the small blind, and then we get Sony that shoves it in their face, and Vanessa just says, "I'm ready to gamble. I got the king 8 of clubs.
Kings.
Get me out of this warehouse and send me to the CCG early bird if I break."
Thank you, I need it.
Yeah.
Ace of diamond or spade, you pick one.
And Sony finds another dream
Ace
spot
of
here.
spade, ace.
I mean, just another 72,
Not good. Diamond.
28. Flops an ace. Oh, she flopped clubs. She turned an 8.
I saw
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a good.
Whiffs it all.
Yep.
All right, and just like that, Sony finds another double to 27K.
It's dangerous when you give Sony that many
Yeah,
chips.
I mean, you just went from 6K on life support to 27.4.
Yeah, when you got a chance to get Sony out, get him out.
Yeah.
Don't give him a chance to stay in, folks. That's
Rule number 1 of free roll charity poker.
rule number 1 of don't let Sony get in. He's going to take down more than his fair share of tournaments.
Again, I feel like I always say this for everybody that listens to. If anybody out there listens to multiple of these, I don't know how few of you there are, but feel like this structure suits Sony very well. I think that like him working on 30 big blinds in a sit and go setting with the blinds going up every 15 minutes, like really plays well to
His strong suits.
Yeah, his strong suits.
He plays these really well.
right. It's
He should be a sit and go master.
like Rafael Nadal on clay. You know, you're
Right.
just not going to beat him.
Wow, you just throw that out there?
Yeah.
Nice. Or like Vanessa on break in ping pong. Don't play her because you're going to lose.
It's true.
It's her court. And you're just hanging out there.
Right.
1300.
Watch a lot of pickleball on TikTok lately, too. Can we start? Can we start a pickleball?
Pickleball's great.
CCG.
I have
pickleball
4
team?
pals in that car right now.
Can we set one up in the warehouse?
Absolutely.
Kind of, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Totally could. All right, this is a unique flop here. You got Queen Jack, so Marty flops middle pair with an open ender. Sony flops an open ender. Chris, who started with the best hand, is now in third.
With the gutter ball. Needing one of those two jacks.
Yeah, he needs one of them jacks.
Or a couple
Or turn a
diamonds.
diamond. Turn a diamond would be nice. 6 of diamonds would have been better.
So now
Sony's still
makes it
firing.
better.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I feel like he knows if he can push Marty, he might be able to get the two players at the table who Sony perceives as tight players that he can push a little bit and get them to fold their draws or their weaker hands or their top pairs with a weaker kicker.
Call.
For this exact reason.
But then I always get scared on King Queen 10 boards against.
Not to mention, Sony bets. I guarantee you, he's not gonna fire a third bet here. That was his shot to take it. Well, I didn't know a 6 was coming, Sony.
Bink 5,000.
I
Let me just fling a
runner 6s here.
I mean, Sony's basically drawing dead against Marty to run a runner 6.
Yep. He's drawn to a chop. Nothing better in this world than being in a tournament and your best hope is drawing for a chop.
So Marty doesn't believe him because he's like, what hands
What
make
could you
sense
have?
there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't think he would value bet a king against Marty.
Nope.
Right? Because and this is where Marty's logic actually makes sense because Marty in his mind is thinking Sony wouldn't value bet a king here on the river. He would just check it back. So if he doesn't have a king, probably doesn't have a flop straight. What does he have? My queen's probably good.
Yep.
Well, your queen is good unless it goes 6-6.
6-6.
In which case, here we are, Sony 40K.
I would have called.
We're tooting his horn about how it's a good structure. It's pretty easy to win pots when you go runner 6.
It's not bad.
I don't think I could bet any more.
Okay, Steve will figure out this whole Annie thing eventually. 6, 12, 12. I think
I
we're
had
up.
a call too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the blinds right.
If I bet
Ooh,
like,
Mike calling you. Kenny, you got the blinds?
Yeah, they went up.
10,000, you fold.
This is the first hand that this one.
Let me check that real fast.
There we go.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, Zoran 7-5. Vanessa King Queen.
Too much of a nit if
I feel like she might just shove,
I didn't call you for 5,000.
and she does.
Do that on my big one.
Chris Ace 10 offsuit, and he just says, "I'm in there." I just watched Vanessa call off with King 8 suited. Clearly, my Ace 10 off is going to be good, and he's right. But now Steve, oh man, interesting hand. Steve has 9s here in the big blind with a chance to knock out 2 players.
And neither one of them have a ton of chips.
Guys, look at those equities.
Yeah.
Just in case you want to see what a 3-man race looks like.
Yeah.
14,200.
34, 32.
Yeah, I mean, you have to call with that hand. You're priced in, yeah.
I don't blame Steve.
You got super.
I'm gambling here too with 9s in the chip lead.
Just like I got.
I mean, it's unfortunate he's up against 4 overcards.
3, 4, 5. Boom.
Yeah, worst case scenario there.
5,
Yeah, I mean, well, better than a pair, I guess. But,
What does he have?
man, it's really snowing. What's
I'm
going
ready
on?
to leave.
And it's been snowing like
Gonna
forever.
hit a 9.
No, this is on the side.
My car doesn't drive.
I like
No.
9.
Yeah.
And I put in 15.
So I parked mine
Yeah, I
inside.
put,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you're right.
Who has the most?
21.
Steve is the most.
All right, making the pots really quick.
Good luck,
I'm
guys.
going to say Steve's
I
going
mean,
to
he
win.
doesn't need
I
to
don't
hit
even
it.
know why.
I mean, he
His
is
hands
the
don't know
whole.
what's
Like,
gonna
you
fall
need to
tonight.
hit ace.
Yeah, I mean,
This is all.
you got all the overs are bad except Jack. Jacks are safe right now. Let's see how many overs came on the flop.
None. 10 high board.
What 10?
Oh,
Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Chris one's with a 10. Steve Brick City.
Look at Vanessa. Ah, where's the kings and queens?
Sit down, sir.
Back.
This is a 10,
I think I won 100 in ping pong because I'm out.
So true.
So Vanessa's out in what, 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the side part, right?
So it looks like a king on the river too.
That's all you can do, man.
Had to be a jack.
I think queen
No, Vanessa
Good
would
playing,
have won.
Vanessa.
10.
Vanessa, I'll see you over there.
I'm going. Hold on, Mike. Let me catch up here.
Well,
figure
I
out
don't know
what's
what
what.
happened, but Chris won.
Yeah.
I think the 10 was good. He
I think it
flopped
was
a
a
10.
jack on the river.
Ace
Oh, ace, then king.
and then a queen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I knew it was a king or queen, but it doesn't matter
Because Chris
because
turned 2 pairs.
Chris turned 2 pairs.
So she did turn Gutterball out.
Ace nine.
She did.
Yeah, 2 pair.
Never ashamed to see Vanessa play. She
No.
plays very well.
Yep.
She's a
She,
good.
and then she's a trooper too.
She's a
I
good
think she
poker player.
drove
drove to
and then drove
CCG.
back to
I
Elgin.
think
Drove CCG, played like the early bird or the 4 o'clock or whatever she could hop in at the time.
Okay.
Played it, and I was like, I'll go play Elgin tonight. I'm like, man.
God bless
Nice,
her.
yeah. God bless. You always root for the troopers. Nothing worse than like a guy winning a huge tournament and just never playing again or never coming back around again. Like, I just root for the money
I
to
will
stay
say,
in the community.
I
or,
will
like,
say that I'm very happy with the fact that most of the free rolls that we've done, the big WSOP free roll for this year, 2022, and then these 5 smaller free rolls at the end of the year, all of them have been great. A lot of them have really been supportive of like our regulars, and then on top of that, it's turned some people are like, oh, this is great. Now they're
Regulars because
like
of-
regulars are because of the points. Like that's a dream for like promotion wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's they're happy, we're happy, charities are happy,
we get
everybody
content out of
happy.
it, but they get to be on TV. And it's like a win-win-win-win-win.
Everybody has fun.
Everybody's winning.
It's funny in Texas they bitch a little bit about being on I don't want they play the I'm too cool to be on it. And I'm just
Right.
like, guys, like you know damn well you're gonna go home and watch this. I do. I made the final table when I was down
You
there.
watched it 4 times.
I watched it a bunch.
Sometimes you just check to make sure
I
your
just
hair
make
looks
sure
good.
I look cool.
Yeah, lock this on.
In Texas, they play music, like they pump music in the room. So sometimes if the music is too loud and the mic picks it up, and then YouTube will pick up that you're playing music that's not licensed to play, like they don't mute it. So it sucks. I had some really good one-liners in there, and they got mixed up because of the copyright infringement. That was very sad.
All right, so Marty here in the cutoff with the ace queen.
Raise to 3,500.
Raise it up. As one should when they have ace queen. And Chris mucks the ace 3 of diamonds there. Which he had been mixing it up with the low aces, but elects to get out of the way there in the big blind.
5 players left. Steve is still our chip leader at 45,000. Sony's now up to second in chips at 40K, but Chris is right behind him, a few hundred chips behind. This is really
The middle part of
it's
the-
kind of a reset.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's way ahead. Nobody's way behind. You're now basically just playing like a truncated
Right.
turbo because you've been playing for 2 hours already. But like you literally went
Like
back to the
everybody's
start
stacks
game.
doubled up and the blinds have doubled and the
Like, that's
players
it.
are cut in half.
That's it. Yep. Like it's now this was my bread and butter. I love 6-handed sit and goes. I never played full table sit and goes in the old days. I always played the 6 max.
Like 80% of the money to first.
Just
and
feel like they're
second.
good. Yeah, I mean it's just
It's like hard to get 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th. You just feel like you win every time.
I just feel like it's good for me to go. Marty with 8s this time. He just limped, which I don't mind. Under the gun with 8s.
Yep.
Like that's a set mining spot.
I agree.
Zoran with jacks. I told you this is the game of pocket pairs. I'm yelling at Steve again.
It's funny because you just put them right there and they went in. Oh, Steve ace queen.
Okay. Well, that's trouble for Steve.
And Steve raises.
Yeah, I mean, he should.
These are 4 good hands.
Well, it was a limp.
in a cash game, this would be going 4 ways to the flop.
Oh, for sure. Sony's getting in 100%.
And then
Sony might be
Marty's
getting
in, and then-
anyways. Wow. So now it's up to Marty if he wants to
I
rock
feel
the
like
boat.
this is one of those Sony spots of, I'm just going to push my luck here.
And again, gotta love Marty. He knows Marty's likelihood of raising here is probably pretty small.
Yeah.
It's going to be a call or a fold.
And if he limp jams, it's probably...
And then you know you're
like,
out, and you just throw your dead money in.
Correct. I feel like the limp re-raise under the gun with aces and kings is such like an outdated move.
It is.
That used to be the thing to do 12 years ago,
Right.
15 years ago.
Everybody did that.
Now nobody does it. Under the gun's the new button. You gotta steal from under the gun because everyone gives you such a big range, small range, I should say, tight range. So where are we at here? We're on. We're on Marty.
Yeah.
take 100.
You know, Marty's closing the action. I think that was more of
Marty called, yeah.
am I going to jam and try and pick up all this money, or am I going to call?
Which I honestly believe he might have gotten through.
He might have gotten through.
Yeah.
That would be so powerful.
Like, use your... Ooh, wow. All right.
Okay.
Marty flops an open-ender. Steve's still got the big 2 cards. Sony's got a gut shot to the massive nuts. Zoran's jacks are still kings. Queens, aces. His jacks are aces right now.
They're all the same. Besides,
All of them are good.
Yep. But is this really the flop 4 ways? I mean, I guess. It's a 3-bet pot. It should be 4 rather tight ranges. Unless they flopped a set. Zoran kind of probably likes this flop, right? I mean, I understand it.
Or he likes the idea he really can't put anybody on aces or kings here because he would have gotten re-raised. Queens are probably borderline at best. You're really thinking the jacks. You've got the best hand going into this. It's like, hey, what can I put somebody on? 8-9 suited?
No.
Probably not going to happen. I mean, you can put 10-9 in the realm
Really,
of
it's
things.
not in there. That's an outlier.
Right.
Into
And if you lose and they flop, then I just lose. I'm perfectly happy in this scenario as Zoran. If I had jacks and Sony had 8-9 and flopped the nut straight, I lose, you win, that's it. I'm not folding.
So now, interesting. Marty bet 7K here. Zoran basically saying this is all in her fold. But now, as Marty, limping under the gun, I mean, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, like those are probably the hands you're putting them on, right? Which they all have equity against you. So that's why I think Zoran didn't just shove here because he knows Marty has something. He knows Marty has something.
And Marty's still got the tight player rep, like he,
Correct.
he
And
puts
now
him out
Marty
of the
has
hand.
a good. Marty has the something that Zoran
I think
is
the
beating.
key here is going to be what the turn is and what
That makes it easy.
what Marty's bet is. Oh yeah, it does
Players
make it
all
very
in.
simple since he just drilled his open ender all in. Zoran's pissed.
And now Zoran's like, how do you have a 3 in your hand? How do you have an 8 in your hand?
Yeah, pocket 8s, pocket 3s. You're basically putting them on. What'd you do?
No, nothing.
Did your sport guy come through?
Yeah, it's coming right now.
Okay, what is it? This is like this cool Discord that you're in,
Yeah.
and then the sharps put out the bets,
Yeah, but I already missed
and
it.
then you already missed it.
I think so. But I'm going to try.
Are we gonna start that podcast at that bar in the city? You want to do it?
I would love to.
I think you'd be perfect for it. I'm just great in general. I just want to get in on the
I
paycheck.
was debating like,
do.
I'm gonna pitch it
What
for
a
it.
flop, what a turn.
You heard it here first, folks. We got CCG Chicago, downtown Chicago, Lincoln Park area. Coming soon.
Wow, you're just
Monthly
plugging it?
events. I'm plugging it. We're an hour in. It's me, you, Marty, Zoran, and Sony watching this right now.
And
So-
maybe Tommy and your mom.
Tommy,
We had all in.
I was kind of
We missed
shocked
you.
to see you. Yeah, or not see you. I just like assumed Tommy's in every free roll. Him and Sony are actually the top 2. I think Sony's missed one, and now Tommy has missed one. That's it. They've made every other free roll, which gotta give them
including the WSOP.
the big one.
Yeah.
Gotta give them props. Like, that's pretty amazing.
And I really think before this promo, they weren't. I mean, obviously they're still regulars, came around a lot,
but not super
now I feel like
rigs.
they're dedicated. Like,
Dude, they're there
I
every
get my
weekend.
points.
They're there every weekend. If they're not there,
Oh,
there's
the night
something
out
like
6 players, cool.
Yeah,
I'm
rip
in.
it.
Yeah, let's go. Just what I want.
Zoran follows his jacks up with 7s. I think he's a little bit on tilt. He goes all in for 12-6. Doesn't look like he's going to get a call. Actually, he gets a call. Nope, he doesn't get a call.
Now here's my question.
He shows the 7s.
I
Though.
was too busy betting sports during the middle of my job.
Yeah, you had around
Zoran
7
folded
people.
the turn with the jacks.
3 people in the pot.
Yeah, you folded actually.
Already
Oh, yeah,
shoved.
we probably should have looked at that.
I just figured you were paying attention.
Nope.
I'm assuming so. 'Cause
He's
still
got
had
16,000 left. Yeah, because the bet was what, like 3K and then 7, so it's
Yeah.
like 10. So yeah, that's. I don't think he
would've
could have
been-
called.
Yeah, I think he would have been out actually.
He would have been out, yeah, because Marty went all in for 20K. He had second in chips. So no, Zoran didn't call. He made the right move. He folded. That's the way it is.
Also, I just had this really terrible feeling since we didn't check the mic and like do anything that like it's just not recording the whole time. And then we're just gonna do that thing where we did 2.5 hours and then it doesn't work and then we
All right,
just
Steve?
leave.
It's just gone in the ether.
Yeah.
And then Sony's going
Then
to
we
text
just
me,
say screw this.
why
I'm
isn't this
leaving."
done yet? And be
Yeah.
like, well, Sony, because we spent 3 hours talking to each other, thinking you guys were listening. As it turned out,
mute button was clicked.
now I don't know, but I'm not stopping now.
Well, yeah, we were pocket committed now.
We're not committed.
Well, I don't know. We're really not.
Let's go back to Chicago. So it's going to be a once-a-month deal on a Wednesday. We're ripping like a mid. It'll be the first Wednesday events. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be kind of high roller. We're going to do like 1, 3, 2, 5 PLO games, cash games, and then I'd like to get one of each. And then I kind of think, because it's small,
240.
it's only going to be like 5 or 6 tables. I don't even think we do multis.
No,
I
just
think
like a sit and go.
you just
Do
rip
like
sit
this
goes.
tournament for $240 buy-in.
Yeah.
Or $120 buy-in or whatever.
I think you do 120s. You do like 120 and 240s.
Yeah.
And just rip it,
I like it.
which is amazing.
And that's going to be, you're thinking like the beginning of 2023?
All right, Marty's out. We are going to have some fireworks here. Zoran has jacks again in the big blind, and I think he might just tilt shove again. And I would too. 14-4 sitting
There you
on
go.
jacks. And he's all in. Yeah. Chris with a lot of mediocre good hands
I got this.
that he's forced to play big pots with that don't turn into such good hands, but you still can't fold them. And you kind of get yourself in one of these situations. Zoran's loving life.
Yeah, I had Jack.
3 outs for Chris. In the window, it seems. Oh, no. Oh, yes, ace in the window. And Zoran, that's just a case of running bad.
Zoran's not running
His
super hot right
jacks
now.
get busted twice by eights and by ace 10. And that's why everybody hates jacks. Because they're such a good hand. You get called by ace 10, ace in the window. Again.
Not that it's much of a consolation prize, but I feel like when you get knocked out of a tournament and you played well, you didn't make any mistakes. There are very few times that I've played a tournament and been like, yeah, I didn't screw anything up there. Like I played it well and I just got out pipped. Like it just happens. That's the game. You can be a 90% favorite, you still lose 1 out of 10 times.
What I come back from?
16-8. Okay.
Or you can get in aces versus jacks all day, every day, in every tournament. You're going to
And
lose
then there's
2 out of 10.
the
I
Andy's
mean, you can only get it in
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5. You can only get in aces versus jacks 5 straight times before you're supposed to lose one. And I mean,
It happens.
it does.
But with that being said, I think Zoran can walk away and go, I played pretty
Yeah,
I
sometimes
played
you
really
walk
well.
away from tournaments.
Thinking,
and
what
it's
was I
just-
doing?
It's kind of that was me.
What
on,
the hell is
That was me
that?
on Monday. I was like,
Man, that was rough. That was not good poker. I did not enjoy that at all.
Later.
all right, Sony bumping it up. I think. Queen 9 off. I think this is go time. We're
Oh,
down to
did you
what?
see my computer?
35.
Oh, that's not too terrible.
No, and I think I can take it in and
fix that.
yeah. But the problem is it's like right there. So like it's like when I do the social media posting stuff, it's like
Start
it
of the
blocked.
line.
Yeah, it's the worst.
I was just praying that you don't
I
have
dropped
that
my
time.
computer in New York. I didn't drop it. I just packed it,
How's the next
brought it home, opened it up on Wednesday when I got back from New York, and
1600?
LCD's broken on my screen. I don't know how it happened. I just opened it up and it happened. I didn't drop it, but it was in the.
Was it in carry on?
I brought it carry on. Yeah.
That's a bit help.
All right, we're at the halfway point of today's free roll.
Oh, we did 5?
Yeah. No, 4.
Down to 4?
Yeah, Marty, Chris,
Oh, yeah, Joe's out over there. And Mug's
Steve,
out. Yeah, that's it.
and Sony.
Fold.
All right, then there were 4.
And there were 4. And the 4 chip
Guess what?
stacks are still pretty close.
You are such a smart guy, man.
Nobody's like a huge
I knew
You
you had
play
it.
with
you know,
them and you don't
underdog
play
here.
against them.
Everybody's
That's the way
pretty
to
damn
survive.
close.
Andy's cutting here.
Yeah. 54,000, 48,000, 40,000, 38,000. So pretty damn close. Sony's still the bottom stack with 38. Steve's now third chips with 40,000 in chips. He took a couple
Steve's
of beats there.
Yeah, Steve's been.
He's been kind of hanging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played those 9s for a 3-way all in. I mean, that's.
And rightfully so.
You win that pie, you
Not-
probably win the tournament.
You're gonna win the whole tournament, and if not, you're still in good shape. Like, what's our favorite Maria Ho?
Get chips so you can lose them.
You accumulate chips so you can lose big pots and still be in the tournament. Like that is you can't say it better than that. Marty with the Jack 9, mixing it up, Marty.
Heads up.
Big
Big
blind.
blind, check it out.
Ah, Marty, bet it. One time, get it in there.
Maybe he'll flop a 9. Nope. Sony flops a 3.
Sonny's the best.
Check.
It's bad when he's a good player and he's kind of lucky too.
I know,
Like, he hits cards.
God, I can't believe I ripped my shirt
I know. How'd you rip your shirt?
on the door. I don't know. I
Dude,
like
that sucks.
I know. I'm buying a new shirt.
Sony gets it in there. Well, if you're watching this today, I will release it today. Same day recording and same day. We're a one-stop shop here.
It's our guy. It's his right email, I'm telling you.
Oh, Frank emailed me back.
Oh.
So it's fine. He just texted me, hey, I haven't worked in. But I kind of left him like, hey, you got to call me back, bro. Like, we're late.
Sony's good here with the 3. I don't know if he's bluffing or if he.
I think he thinks he's bluffing.
Yeah. He wasn't. You're good all the time, Sony.
Good,
Turn
son.
River.
Chris is all lonesome by himself in the middle of the table there.
Yeah.
Last hit, man.
And then everyone just huddle around Mike.
Yeah.
Like I said, I felt like it was like a feed.
Mike, you got to bust the players next to you so you get some elbow room.
Yeah.
You made the right move earlier, but then you came back and changed. You convinced yourself, no, maybe somebody's bluffing, you know.
Well, like I said, it's just it was a small
Sony
fact.
is also a really good kind of shit talker at the table because he does it so nicely that you're never mad at him. Well, he needles you a little bit.
Yeah,
He's
you know-
playing a mental game. That guy's out there playing chess. I'm playing checkers when I'm playing 2-card PLO. Ooh. Steve and Marty got some legit hands. Sony will probably come along. No.
Yeah, because it's Steve's big blind side.
600 to call from Marty. Gonna limp it in there.
Raise
800 to call. Steve with the suited ace jack. What's he gonna raise to? Come on, Steve.
Oh, Marty raised.
Ooh, Marty.
Marty doubles. Steve jams.
Steve
and this is
string
one of
bets.
those spots for Marty. It's like you're gonna get Steve to play that pot when he doubles it for like with any 2 cards, and probably just outplay him or have the best hand with King 10. You run into Ace Jack and Steve just slams it in your face, and now you can fold.
Marty didn't lose $3,000 in chips here. He invested $3,000 into a table image that shows
That he
I am
tries to
capable
steal
of doing
blinds.
some. Yeah, it happened to me in Paramount, and it played out perfectly.
Queen. Show your
3
queen, too.
times
Beautiful.
beforehand, I raised from the small blind, big blind bet into me, I folded.
Lady.
3 times I did that. Mostly the first 3 times they were with dog shit hands.
Yeah.
Then the 4th time I had ace king, and sure enough, I limped. He jams.
Queens are above.
I go all in. I'm good.
Ace Jack.
And I got a monster ace king, and he had king 10. Like, not only did I have a way better hand, but I got him, counterfeited.
Ace Queen.
It works out great.
Jack, but you could-
I invested that money well. You got to invest in your future of
Forehand is
poker.
pretty big hand.
Poker futures. It's great. I'm digging this new line of investing in the future of your game.
Let's start a shared note.
Let's get a Discord going. Big comment out there. If anybody knows what Discord is, I'm kind of working on it, trying to figure it out. It's hard.
It
It's
is
like
hard.
Reddit, but different. I also like Reddit,
Yeah, Red's great.
but weird.
Yeah. People Reddit's a wild place.
Reddit's a wild place.
So I think the stacks have caught up to the structure a little bit. Everyone's comfortable in chips. These blinds are 2 or 3 levels away from really putting pressure on everybody. So we might, I'm predicting a little bit of stale poker in the next 20 minutes.
Poor Tony, the guy.
Just because nobody has to play loose.
You got him out of the 3rd hand?
Look at these chip
That was
stacks.
sick.
41, 42,
Damn
45,
close to
51.
aces,
I mean, it's close.
huh? Look at that guy.
And
Not
everyone's
again.
got 30 big.
We've
I
just
took
started
my dog
over
for a walk
with
this morning and
Yeah.
he got me
a turbo sit and go.
Raise to 3,600.
That's it.
Pop it up to 36. Chris is in there with the 9-8 of diamonds.
How much more?
Look at Steve taking the 8-4 diamond, 8-4 offsuit on the button. He's willing to steal.
Yeah, I like Chris's hand the best here, the 9-8.
Could you solve this Rubik's Cube right now for $200?
No. Could you?
I knew you were gonna ask that. No, probably not.
I mean, I
I
worked
could
so
get
hard
to
on
the,
it, but it's
I
like
could get to the. I can get 2 of the 3 done.
you can get most of it going
I can't get the 3rd. I don't remember the double moves to move around the
to move
3rd.
the top
Check.
row.
Check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember like this one where you move it over and then you go up and then you go back over 2 and then you load it
Yeah.
back. Like I don't remember when that comes into play. All right, we got kind of a quality flop here in Queen Deuce Deuce. Nobody's got anything. I feel like this is one of those moments where if you just bet,
Yeah, it's
then,
a 12K pot too. This is kind of crucial.
it really is.
10
Like,
big
you
blinds.
gotta
and
win every
somebody's
pot
just
that you
taking
can
it down
win.
with King High.
And showing down King High. Never show down King High. Come on, you got 0 showdown
So
value.
he's got like the best
raise?
no pair hand.
I was
King
blind.
6?
Steve, I was
guess
a big
that's
blind.
nuts.
why I
This is with an
expected
ace,
him
king, queen.
I would have
They need a
folded
7 ace or queen to beat you.
That's when you yell out things like nut no pair. You know how many times I've won a hand that I didn't win because I yelled out nut no pair, and then everybody just fucking folds.
Muck, muck.
It's just like, yeah, King High. What, you had King High? Yeah,
Yeah,
nut no pair. That's like that infamous chop chop. Oh, I thought you said top top.
Yeah,
No, I said chop chop. Oh, I thought you said top top.
thought we were chopping the
No, we're
pot.
chopping the
Oh,
pot.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
sorry,
Nicole.
bro. I'm going to win $12 million.
Right.
And then disappear. And never be back in the poker scene again. Does he have any of that money left?
Probably not. I mean, he owed a lot of it, and then he played high stakes poker. I can't imagine he's got much left.
Yeah, $12 million. I don't think I'd ever play poker again.
Quite a bit.
Would you?
Probably not.
I wouldn't. I'd just stop gambling.
Right off into the
Which would be lame. I don't know what I would do.
Raise to 40.
I don't know if I had 12 million. If I scored for 12 million, I'd probably play.
All right, pop quiz, Brando.
Your hand.
The lottery was the largest lottery in the history of the lottery. 2.04 billion. Which one? I don't know how much 2.04 billion is. It's 2 billion 40 million?
That's a good big fold,
2
dude.
billion.
That's a big fold. How can you
Right?
fold
Yeah.
that?
What's 2.04 billion? It's 2 billion 40 million dollars?
Yeah.
Yeah? I couldn't. I was like,
Yeah.
what a great thing when you're rounding off. $40 million is like the whatever. It's 2 million. What do you mean it's 2 million? It's $40 million. $40 million. You just wrote off.
Wow.
But anyways, in that instance, do you take the annuity payments where you get one payment a year that increases every
you just
year
take the lump
for
sum.
30
I
years,
don't
or do
know
you
why.
take the lump sum?
Take the lump sum, but it's because they screw you on the interest rates, I think. Or
They screw you no matter what, but
yeah,
the government.
I think you're supposed to take the lump sum.
Yeah, I think it was like
Now the guy won in California. Does he pay like Californian tax on that, like 53%?
No, I think
Or is it just like
there's
a
a couple of
lottery
states.
tax?
There's like a lottery tax because we looked it up. I don't know. It was one of those like, what's the game people play? Lionel says Laden things where you try to figure out what the tax was, and we did a tax thing on like on a win like that. It was like 24%. And I was like, I would have thought it would have been higher. I don't understand how the government keeps half of that raffle and then taxes you on your winner again. The government basically keeps 75% of the money.
Yeah, I know.
It's the worst rake in the world, and yet
really is.
everybody does it. It's so bad. Imagine doing a $20 early bird that was flipped. You're playing for $5 and the charity kept $15. Nobody would show up.
But I don't think that. Yeah.
All right, we got a queen nine here. Let's see who plays it better. Steve bet 4,000. Sony's going to call the 4,000. Marty's probably not going to see a turn here.
It's the same way with poker, though. I mean, you take your hard-earned tax dollars that you pay tax on, then you buy into a poker tournament, and then you win it, and then you got to pay 40% more tax,
Yeah.
even though you just already paid taxes.
Careful.
Let's not go down that rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
No,
Taxes.
There's Reddits for that, and
That's-
Discords.
Don't
All right, so Marty folds. Steve bet 4,000. Sony calls. Let's see a turn here. Be a 9. Check. I think we might see a check all the way down.
I
You
think
guys are
Sony's
going to let
value
me.
about the river.
You guys aren't going to let
Sony's gonna
me.
value about the river.
Oh, ace. Oh, fast check.
Just because of an ace.
Fast check. Sony was planning on
Thank you.
semi-bluffing there.
We played so well. Didn't hurt anybody. Only thing is we got Marty's small blind.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right.
A little bit. We
I had a
got
piece
Marty's
of it,
small blind.
But I knew I was
So
behind.
24. We got 1,200 piece.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Better than when I started.
Yeah, better than what I started. Yeah.
Missed that one.
I almost re-raised and said, you know what? No, gotta give some respect to Steve once in a while.
All right, hand number 41.
You're buying lunch
Let's
now.
do an over-under on the amount of hands.
If I win, I'll be happy to.
I know how many, so
It's gonna
you,
be all
you
veggie,
said the
though.
line.
You can eat
I know it's hard.
anything.
I can eat anything I want.
No, you can't, but I'm not paying for
Wow,
it.
it's really snowing outside
really is.
right now.
I'm just kidding.
Weather really kind of switched on us.
Summer to winter, like that.
When like the big, like when Poker Go does announcements, did they talk about the weather at all?
88 hands. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And I went like Price is Right rules too, where if you're over, you're out.
I think everything should be price of right
Yeah,
rules.
it should just be like standard.
It's
It
just
should be
standard.
That's rules.
That's just the rules.
For
of
guessing,
life.
it's that way.
That's what it is. If you guess over, you're out.
Heads up.
just like this.
I always love those Family Guys when the guy's like $1, Bob. And he's like,
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I haven't seen it in
it's so
forever,
good.
but I just know I've scrolled and seen it at some point.
All right, let's do some poker content right now.
Well, there's not a lot going on. I said this, I
It's
predicted
the tough-
it's the worst part of the tournament for
Yeah.
action because nobody has to play tight. Or nobody has to play loose. There's nothing.
Right.
There's no ICM. There's nobody short. There's really not even any pay jump, really.
Not yet.
So I mean, we're really just chilling.
Really, fourth to third is I think it goes.
It's $100.
Yeah, so like
3, 4, 6, 1.
it's the good and the bad thing about the free roll. You hate to do
Whatever.
free roll when everybody gets paid. So it's
You want Mung to show up and get something.
$100. You get $100 for showing up for the free roll. It's just a gift. Here's some gas money,
Yeah.
which used
Lunch
to be a little
and
bit
gas
farther,
money, yeah.
right?
That's
Here's a
about
dollar
it.
menu spot and a half a tank of gas. Oh, what was it? $100.
Yeah, I couldn't even go to BP either. I had to go to the off
I had a really run bad
So
yesterday.
we were going to play poker.
No, one more story. Look at this: 5, 7 deuce, queen 5, jack 7.
Blinds are up. Thank God.
So good, so good. Sony's gonna win this hand with 7 deuce, guaranteed. He's gonna win with 7 deuce.
Heads up.
Ace 4 9. Sony bets. He wins.
1,600.
Nah,
Chris
Chris is a fire. He's fired.
Solid play here, Chris. Solid
Got the
play with the
ace.
5s. He knows somebody would have raised if they had an ace, and he's perfectly comfortable with that flop.
He's like, oh, you're out of position? Well, that means I'm first to bet. Do something about it.
Went to showdown, Marty, 12%. Marty got to get those numbers up.
Yeah.
Chris's and Steve,
Yeah, 1,600.
good middle ground.
Yeah.
Third of the time, they're
Somebody's
getting
showing
they're
down a
getting
lot.
Shoney's got no problem showing his cards. What are you looking at? Oh man, it's blizzarding
Yeah,
outside.
I'm looking at the blizzard. I'm not going to be able to drive.
Not cheap either.
I got shitty summer tires.
I got an Uber home.
What a world. I might be joining you in the Uber.
Oh,
Let me hear your run bad story. Come on.
Oh, run bad.
Yeah.
It was super cold last night. I had like a quarter tank of gas. I didn't want to stop at like 1:30 in the morning to get gas after the event.
Yep.
So I got gas on my way to the event, which was still like 10 o'clock. I went late on Friday. It was my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Sawyer. She's 8, which is a wild thing to think
Yeah,
about.
that's old.
Sony out flops. Ooh,
Marty's
9-8.
Marty's got
Marty.
the sexy looking flush draw.
I love the flush draw and the straight flush draw.
that's 2,300.
2,300, Marty.
I don't know what.
It's a perfect bet by Sony.
I don't know what Marty should do here. Could raise.
Bet
Rep
you-
that board.
Rep the board. He's gonna see he's gonna see a turn. I love the fact that he's gonna see a turn. See if you can get there.
10 of spades.
Oh, better. 10 of hearts.
Okay. That snap check is usually pretty weak.
Okay.
But, I mean, I get
It's a scary board.
It is. Marty just wants to realize his equity with the flush draw and misses it. And now it's like, how can I really ever have a queen here? Maybe he's going to bet.
Check, check. Two
Check,
pairs.
check.
Yeah, I get it.
I would give up on Marty, too. If you don't fire the turn, you can't fire the river when you
So
miss.
it's super cold. Put on my credit card.
I
know, but
Put the
I could put
you know,
some
I'm
queen
pumping
there
gas.
and I check
Starts
it.
pumping. I run inside to get a drink. Pay inside. Come back out. It had stopped after $5. It had just the pump had stopped,
Yeah.
No better.
and I was like, just going with 5.
That's
I'm not
it.
going
Yeah,
anymore.
that's it. I'm done.
I pulled the $5 fill up, which was less than a tank, or less than a gallon of gas. It's like maybe 1.5 gallons.
And we really just
All
like.
right, with 4 players left, who's your pick to click now?
You couldn't do it.
They're all
I
pretty close and
picked
chipped.
Steve already. I'm going to just stick with
You're gonna stick with Steve? I like it.
It's like the Monty Hall
Player, you're a good player.
3 doors.
Fold, fold.
Now that I showed you that there's a loser in one door, do you want to switch?
Aren't you always supposed to
Yeah,
switch?
you are supposed to switch, but I'm not going to switch. I want Steve.
Play better when you don't.
Marty with 6s again. Heads up. Small blind, big blind. I'd like to see a raise here. 7,000 might be a bit high.
That's okay. Oh, well.
Fold.
The problem with you to do 7,000 is what happens when Steve shoves.
I like how he
What do
shows
you
the
do?
6s though.
Yeah.
I think that's a good time to show 6s. Again, you want to show that you've got a better range. You don't want to just have him assume that you had a monster hand there. Like, I love the fact that you show the 6s, because the next time he bets 7,000 and he's got kings, queens, aces, you might get a call from Steve with an ace
Whatever, because you showed 6s.
because you showed the 6s.
Yeah.
Right. You can get a call from ace 10 there because he's going to put you out. Remember, oh man, he bet 7,000 with 6s. I would have liked to see a 6,000 bet with 6s. I like the matching of your.
Like Sony did 2 with 2s.
Yep, I like it. I like when you bet the same as what your cards are. Not a lot of great hands so far.
No, those are
3 brutal ones to look at. Sony's out. We're on to Marty. He's out.
Chris is with the monster in the big blind.
And check.
Dominated.
We got a battle of the blinds again. Ace, Jack, Jack.
This is a first to bet situation.
Yep. First in the pool's going to win.
Chris actually has some showdown value here with King High. I mean, that's just the best hand a lot of the time.
He's already reaching for
Yeah, he's
chips,
gonna
which
bet.
is good. I like the signaling when you're kind of semi-bluffing. I think it scares a lot of people. And you can bet a little bit smaller, and it instantly kind of helps you out there.
Takes it down. So I would say Chris is definitely the most aggressive. He's the most willing to get after pots for sure. He's battling for every pot.
He's winning pots without actually having hands, which
Yeah.
I know is a silly thing to say, but you need to do that to win tournaments. You cannot win tournaments if you are not winning without winning hands.
Right, and that's the situation where it's good to have a low showdown frequency because you're not showing down the hands because you're just taking them all down.
Yep.
It's the red line in your
Yep.
poker graph.
It's good. Marty with a suited connector there. Under the gun, though. Probably going to be a fold.
Yeah, this is either way. This is just like player preference. Probably right in the middle. You could probably do.
He does
whatever.
have Chris, who's been the most aggressive player so far, with a solid
Fold.
8-6.
Call.
And Sony checks, and Sony is very delighted. I feel like he's not having much resistance on his blinds.
Nope.
He's getting to see a lot of check it back, I flop a 3, check it down, small ball poker. Yep, he's going to bet here.
And now Sony's going to fire into this pot,
Yep.
thinking his king high
I
is
think
good.
Chris might call.
300.
Just kidding.
Nope.
Easy one. Easy. See, there's a non-resistant hand. He's up against a better hand. He gets to see a free flop, brick it, use his position, bet, and get a better hand.
Get a
fold.
better hand fold.
And those are just little small little 7K pots. You just chip, chip, chip. You win 4 of those, it's 30K. I mean,
Yep. And then you can lose a big pot
Yep.
and still be
then
fine.
you lose a whole double up to Steve.
Now you're in a
Earn that
situation
30K.
where you're four-handed, Sony's got the chip lead, and that's a scary spot for the other players.
Yep.
Sony's a strong player when he's got chips. He plays a big stack very well. I do not play a big stack very well. That is known in the poker world.
2,000, yeah.
Ken is not a scary player with chips. I'm a scary player without chips.
Yeah, with chips, everyone's just licking their chops.
Yeah, they're just-
Oh, it's for everyone.
That was the best when you're like, you got the chip lead at the final table of the WSOP Pot Limit Omaha. Kenny, just keep betting. Be aggressive. And what did I do? I went from first to last in chips. I came back.
You did. You did.
Not a lot of flop help here. Sony with the bottom pair.
Bet.
His dangler.
25.
He had the best hand going in.
It's more like middle pair, but well,
Yeah,
it was,
you know. Fours never
toma-
feel like a middle pair.
Tomatoes. He's got the best hand regardless.
Fold, fold.
Once again, gets
Showed
to
it.
see a free flop.
Shows a 4.
Gets
chip
in there
it up.
with queen 4 off. Flops middle pair.
Look at the etiquette from Chris. Gets up from the table to use his phone. Solid. Solid move by Chris. Etiquette, I like it. That's a poker veteran right there.
I like Chris.
He's a relatively new player.
I was about to say, he just kind of came around.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's recent, yeah.
But again, stayed and played because of the points, and I think we got the hooks in him now.
Yeah,
which
I
is
know.
great. That's what we. It's why we do this
We
promotion.
don't know our secrets.
I know. I mean, it's not really a secret. Sony on the button with the best hand.
Fold.
Feels like he's been playing too much. Gonna have to give some of those away. Steve with the 3-4 suited.
Yeah, Steve likes his hand.
And a check. Heads up.
Steve in position.
Are you a
will-
kick in? Do you kick in your chips for the dealer?
Sometimes. I always like move him in, though.
Yeah.
I'm very conscious about that. Because I can never reach the corners.
All right. Steve flops an open ender. Marty's got 2 overcards.
And a gutty ball, the 7 makes them both straight
Does. That would be a dream turn.
for Marty.
For Marty, yeah, well. 7.
Hey, there's the dream turn for Steve. With the actual dream turn.
Dude, the best card he can
Steve,
hope
like,
for.
checks up. Yeah, that's what I got, huh?
That's the best card I can
I
hope
do
for.
have the 3-4 hearts, huh? Yeah.
Turns to sneaky straight and a flush draw.
Marty's not going anywhere.
No,
I
I
think
like
Marty
it.
thinks his 8's good and his queen's good, and rightfully so.
And his 7's good.
Steve can, well, yeah, obviously 7's good. Steve can have whatever. Just run it into it here a little bit.
Good check.
5,000.
5K bet.
Just a little.
Fold.
Yep. He's not getting anything out of that.
See,
hand,
like
though.
I feel like if Steve would have bet like 4,600 there, he'd be just so much more likely to get a call and just flip out a 5K chip.
Think so?
I always get really scared when the guys just flip 100 in.
Yeah, that's true.
You flick 100 in a lot, and I get scared every time you do it.
Sony is up big time. Chris is up big time. Marty and Steve, since we've been going here, they're down a little bit of chips.
It's funny because Steve's won all of his chips off of Marty,
Right.
and then Steve has dispersed them
To the other two players.
elsewhere. But again, once again, Steve really hasn't lost any big pots besides the nines.
The 9s.
and
that was a good spot. Yeah, it was a good spot.
I mean, you're only literally they show you're only going to win 33% of the time. You still take it.
All right, we got some legit hands here. Suited ace for Chris.
Raise
Sharing diamonds with
4,600.
Steve. Sony raises with the Jack 9 suited.
Fold. And a call.
Gets one caller.
They get one black chip. That's it.
Queen out there.
Sure.
It's like all black cards.
Check.
I feel like the first card's a red card.
It is. One diamond. Flops a 9 for Sony.
Yeah, Sony middle pick the
connects.
gutter ball, and here we go again.
Big bet there. Lots of chips in.
Chris has the little baby ace and the suited ace a lot. Ace 6, ace 6, ace 3.
It was 68.
Oh, after I had an
6,800.
diamond.
Okay. I hit it. Got a pair with a straight draw.
Sony accumulating chips. It's a dangerous spot for the other players. He's kind of running away with it right
and all of
now.
a sudden he can double up Marty and almost still be chip leader.
Be fine.
Earlier I was folding every hand.
In fact, if he does double up Marty, he is still the chip leader.
Yep. This is second.
You get a big 70.
Because you got more blue than I do.
Do you ever get in a tournament like this where you start to feel like the game's kind of slowed down a little bit? Do
Yeah.
you try to push a little bit
Well,
more?
In
to try to
theory, you're
keep-
supposed to kind of go with the flow and slow down with it. I don't know. I just feel like whenever somebody tries to steamroll, they end up just losing.
Right.
I think the stakes have something to do with it too.
I'd be hit.
It's tough to steamroll a free roll. Everyone's in for free. How much
Yeah,
do they
it's-
really
it's a
care
good point.
about
It's a
it?
good point.
It's like when the money matters is when the true pain.
2,000.
Chris flops a 3 this time. Up flop Sony.
I mean, Danny was just getting it in with Sebastian yesterday, not to win the money, to inflict the pain
The
on
pain.
Sebastian.
Pain's good
You know,
sometimes.
that's when the money matters. You can do a lot more pain. Hey, Chris pulling one out of Sony's book and flopping middle pair with a crappy hand. Let's see if Chris can score some chips back from Sony here.
3,000.
Looks like he's going to. Chris definitely he bets his hands, and
Yep.
I like that.
Fold.
I'm actually starting to backtrack on that first time that he limped with Ace King. Maybe he was just mixing it up there because he's raised every other time. So now all of a sudden limping with Ace King seems like not that
Seems
bad.
pretty good,
Not
yeah.
that bad of a play since after seeing everything else. 1-2 with a 1K big blind ante. Hand number 51.
Fold.
Call.
Call. Call.
And Marty's option with 10s in the big blind. Okay, this is definitely going to be a raise. He's probably going to go a little bit bigger. I'm going to say 8,000.
Raise it up. 8,000.
Brandon's on the money.
Perfect. Not going to get any callers.
He's not. And I think that's kind of what he
I mean,
wants.
Chris might try to peel a deuce here. That's a good bet for Marty. Yeah.
Fold.
240 pocket fours.
He just calls them out. Pocket fours? Nope. Tens. The most difficult of the premium hands to play.
Yeah. Which is probably why he sized up a little bit there and is happy taking down the blinds. At least the snow stopped.
Yep.
I can drive in this.
Perfect timing.
All right, here we go. We got the payouts. So 3, 4, 6, 1. So, you know, a little bit of a pay jump, and then the final 2 spots are taking home the majority of the cashola. Man, if you ever asked, you know, your brother in 2019 that the odds of that warehouse turning into a poker studio by 2022, you'd probably put it at 500 to 1. Guys, if you saw this place 2 years ago,
Raise to 45.
nothing like it is now. All right, so Sony is raising, and Marty's out of there, and Steve's out of there. Take it down. Somebody actually had a hand on the button this time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is where you just show that ace, muck your hand.
Muck your hand.
Just show that ace of clubs at the table, let everybody know I'm not stealing. I had an ace. But in reality, you're like, haha, I didn't want to
really
play
wanna
ace
see
7.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Two hat wearers. And then Mike with that mop of hair in the middle. Sony 9 deuce under the gun.
Fold.
Out of there. Waiting on Marty's cards here. Marty's out of there. We don't need to see him. Nothing special.
Okay.
Steve's in there with the queen 8 off, and Chris checking his option with the 8-3 off. Steve has him dominated once again. This has the makings of another 1 bet or 2 bet pot, and that's it. And Steve checks. Chris is going right along with the, hey, if you don't got an ace, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you that I do, even though he had 8 high. And he takes it down.
It's 15-3. So what? Yeah, with a 15.
All right, under the gun, Marty, Jack 3 off. That's a bad one. Marty's out of there.
Raise.
And Steve's out of there, and we have another pot between Chris and Sony.
7,500.
Chris is raising it up with 10s. Sony mucks the Jack deuce.
Raise 10 and 10s, man. Those are hard for you.
That's it. Take it down with 10s pre-flop.
I mean, 10's been easy so far.
Yeah, no flops seen.
No
Hey, look at
flops,
these
10s are
V-tips.
good.
44, 44, 42, 33.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. You got an over-under set for the Black Friday early bird?
400.
400. Fire out 400.
Fold.
Think it'd be good.
Nice even number.
Even
Not like
numbers.
387.
Nah, you know me. I like whole numbers.
404.
I like whole numbers. I think it'll be over 400.
Wow, that's strong.
Call and check.
Assuming by the end of this weekend, we should have upwards of 80, 90, 100 pre-registered. And remember when we did the pre-register with PayPal? Everybody wanted to do it that Thursday night before.
Yep.
You were trying to close it for Thanksgiving. You didn't want to deal with the hassle.
Yep.
And like 100 people were trying
to get in.
Yeah. So, Marty
just
flopped, turned the boat.
drill flops.
That's 3,100.
He's got Sony betting into him.
Yep. Dream spot 400. 400 is a strong number. I would
3,100 a call. I feel like you just you do the Hollywood call here. Hollywood it up a little bit. Reluctantly call. See what's coming out. Hope he's got a 3. And he doesn't hit his dangler. Sony misses everything, so he's not going to fire another bet. Marty's gonna have to bet something here, and he's just gonna.
So
take the bet then.
the little Brando, when I always have like these not super strong hands and like I just feel like they don't have anything, I always just bet so small that like,
You value bluff him a little bit.
yeah, like okay, 5K into 10K, like I'm even talking just like 2400.
Min bet it.
20, yeah,
3,000.
yeah, yes.
Nicely
Like just where if they just like, I'll call you with ace high to see your hand.
Right.
Like that's what you're trying to get paid off on because you know they don't have anything.
No.
Like the dreams of like going all in and them heroing you with a queen, like those
never
Yeah,
happen.
those don't happen. I'll just take my one blind.
It's good.
Show
I
my
like
full-
that.
Show my full
Show
house.
my
with
full
pride.
house. Ha! I got it.
You're the Jordan. 2-3.
Our 4 players have been standing strong here.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of chips moving back and forth, but nobody's really taken the driver's seat
But
here.
no break, and everybody.
Fold.
Chris is out of there.
Fold.
Sony's out. We've got a lot of blind on blind action.
Yep.
Marty 7 deuce. You know, you can fold sometimes a small blind. It's not that bad. I mean,
He's shaking his head.
Yeah.
He shows it. 7 deuce. It's the best of the 7 deuces, though. The suited 7
Yeah,
deuce.
and the clubs hit the most flushes, so you got that going for you too.
It's because they're heavier.
Then Steve's got
It
ace
was
clubs.
suited.
Marty's just like all the hands, and it's the 7 deuce.
7 deuce, what I got.
I'm glad you didn't even limp with it.
We really didn't come prepared for this. No food, no water,
No drinks.
No, we don't even know if the recording works.
We're hoping.
I'd rather deal with the dirty cipher, rather have that instead. Can't make anything like 3-7.
You should have 3,000. Yeah, 3,000 over there.
Oh, 3.
Chris with the 85 Bears suited.
Fold.
Okay, Sony's out. Marty. Excuse me. Marty with an actual hand. You're on the button. We are at 15-3. Marty, go small. 7K. Let him see the flop. You have the best hand, and you have the button.
Raise it. 7,000.
7,000. There you go. I'm 2 for 2 on pegging Marty's numbers, by the way.
Nice.
And you made it nice and cheap for him, and then still nobody called. But that just shows you that you can make it nice and cheap for him with a bad hand, and probably still just fold.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Your boy Marty is on top of the pre-flop raise list.
It's good. No sense of getting involved in a hand if you're not going to raise.
That's true. Yeah, the limp train is a popular train in the streets of the free roll.
Mm-hmm.
76 for Marty. Sorry, Jack 7 for
Chris
Marty.
has got another ace suited.
Wow, ace 6 suited
Fold,
again.
fold.
Yeah. Against Steve's 2-3 suited. He got out of the way though.
Check.
We're going to see a call check. But
Yeah.
Sony's
And
dominated again.
Chris has got him just
Less
guns blazing.
I had some
Flop a 6, folks.
big hands, but then there were possible.
check.
King 10 deuce means Chris is going to win.
You think Chris is going to win?
I don't know. Sony's going to bet
Chris
it.
is just going to snap fold.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Hey, if he folded with ace 6 on 10-10-9, he's probably going to fold ace 6 on king 10 deuce. Sony, uncontested, gets in cheap again with a bad hand. He's dominated,
Snowing again.
but the sun's out, so it seems
good.
prettier. I don't know. Man, I really wasn't looking forward to winter.
And that's
No, and it's here.
Yeah.
slam.
The problem with winter is it really should just be over in January.
Yeah.
Like, you get through the holidays.
New Year comes. All
New
right,
Year comes,
good.
like, all right, cool.
Spring should be here.
Give me fire up to 57 and raining for a little
Put it
bit.
all in.
All right, we got 3 solid hands here.
Yeah.
Steve with the mystery all in.
Ooh, I like that.
Up against some pretty solid hands.
29.
Going to check his hand here
29,000.
again. Let's see if we can get that work. No, didn't work, Ken.
Yep.
It's all right. Mystery all in. I like it. Sony with the big ace. I mean,
Is it big?
I mean, it's
29,000.
four-handed ace-9 seems pretty good to me.
It is pretty big.
It is a $29,000 bet, though, so it's half of Sony's chips.
But again, that's only 10 bigs. 10 when you put it in terms of big blinds,
Well,
and
that's
not
true.
chips.
And see, this is where I run into problems
Right.
because I see 30,000, half of my chip stack. You see it as it's 10 blinds.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's a better way to look at it.
Only one time.
And it's close either way you
Yeah,
look
it
at
is.
it. Half for chips, 10 bigs. I
was
mean, it
flipping.
is close, but like,
You want to show, huh?
No show.
What do we
man, the
have?
world will never know.
The world will never know what Steve had there.
God
Steve,
knows.
if you could
He ain't
comment,
telling us the truth
Steve,
anyways.
comment and tell us what you had. Aces.
Next time I'll pay you.
Aces.
That's okay.
They were both spades, too.
Since you're going to show me, I will call you.
Okay, Ken, this time I'm gonna get it. Okay.
I now have Sebastian texting me,
Oh, nice.
telling me to follow people on TikTok because they're bad at sports betting. We need to bet the opposite.
Right there.
And this is how we're going to get rich.
I
Hey,
mean, it's a way to do it.
You gotta see
Ace
minus
queen
on
from
the
Chris now. Big ace. That's a big
There
there
ace.
we go.
9,000. I went down.
Raise to
8,000?
9,000.
Raise.
Perfect
Yep,
amount.
Fold.
Hey, that's it.
Fold.
Not gonna see any callers here.
Steve might call from the big blind.
Folds around.
I don't think for 9,000.
It wasn't ace
Oh, yeah,
10.
I thought it was 8.
Ace queen.
Much better.
Bigger one.
That's what I had last hand. I just remembered.
I will say, Steve hasn't done anything out of line. I thought
No.
he was going to be a crazy man. He got all those chips early. It helps.
Played great,
Yeah.
or he's playing great.
Yeah,
I
there's
should
nothing
say.
really wrong.
Steve, still your pick to click?
Yeah. I'm not backing down now.
I'll see that on Tuesday if you're lying.
Thursday.
Thursday? Okay, okay.
Thursday.
No, Sony, you won't see it.
Saturday.
Chris with the Jack 9.
Go to the next seat, please.
They're giving Steve shit because his cards won't read.
You're late in the game, dude. The dog is hungry.
I
at
know.
home.
Steve hit me
gotta
up
get
yesterday
him
and was like,
going.
you got to have Kenny fix that 2 seat.
You need to go home.
Like eating with the wrong fork or something.
Because of you.
I'm putting him here, he's moving him there. I'm putting him there, he's moving him here.
At the, you got promoted to the other chair, bigger chair.
There it is, 10-9. You're dominated, Steve.
The next one I think works better.
Small blind, big blind action.
Which we've been seeing a lot of.
Yeah,
It's been a battle of the
I mean,
blinds.
four-handed. That kind of what happens here.
Fold.
Next
But
time
you would also,
get it,
I would
I'll
like to
take
see
it
it
back.
more being like cut off and button versus one of the blinds.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, one of
Thanks for
those
the compliment
guys.
that there's gonna be a next time.
Yeah, I believe
usually
you
punch.
do it. You should do it
No.
every month.
Like
What's what you
now
said? The
is
limp
my-
train starts
I'm
rolling, and
already
it's hard to
counting
get
you for
off
this
of that
coming
limp
month.
train.
And now we're just seeing blind versus blind and then checking in one bet pots and like these aren't how people get eliminated or get chip stacks usually.
Nope.
So now I think I would maybe try and switch gears a little bit if I was somebody.
Start pushing a little bit
Yeah.
That's what
more.
I'm saying. He's
Like,
going
all right, if we guys are all settling on here and you're happy
play
with
one,
playing
play
limp pot
this
with 10 big
weekend.
blinds, how
Because
about
again,
we-
if you can
I'm not
raise
playing
from the cutoff of the button and win
play.
2 or 3 hands that
Last
way,
month I was
it just
like-
you're really
then you
accumulating.
can, then you can
especially
raise,
when you're
get
playing.
shoved down in muck, and you still have more chips than you started with.
Right.
And if you have to see a flop and you have to play a hand, it's against a wide big blind or small blind range, and you're in position.
Right.
Where's all in?
But again, we see. All right, Steve the button. I like it.
All right, Steve's all in again.
He's gonna run into. But like, you have a hand as good as King Queen, like not even insta calling here. Like that's a pretty tight range if Sony's gonna be calling here. This is only 9 bigs. I mean, he's probably gonna end up calling. But like, you have
You're gonna buy
hands as good as
120
King
right
Queen thinking about it. You should be. I mean, how many times do they have Queen 4, Queen 3, 9-8, 4 deuce? Every other hand you could name.
Even if it's 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, you don't even care.
You could name hundreds of hands that are worse than King Queen. And he's thinking about it with that.
Here, wait. You see a
All right, Jack 9's suited.
Steve's
I
fine
like,
to take a 64
I like it.
here.
Absolutely.
I mean, it comes to a point in a tournament where like
You have to
take
do
it.
this.
You
You
have
have
take
to
it.
do this. Because if you don't, you just get blinded
27.
out.
I mean, look, Steve had 60,000 when the blinds were 3-6.
You're
He's got
looking-
half of that, and the blinds are 15-3. The blinds are 5 times as big, and he has half the chip stack as he had. You got to take it.
Let's gamble. Show your chance.
Let's
And
gamble.
Sony says, let's gamble. And
It
he's
is a
gambling.
gamble.
It is.
60-40.
And
And
he's
Sony thinks he's the 40,
correct.
not the 60.
Yep. As it turns out, he's the 60,
ahead right
which is
now.
great.
I'm ahead.
Queen.
He's suited over here.
Doesn't matter because all red are
Queen
coming.
10, come on.
Sony don't
Okay,
care about
queen of
suited.
diamond, give him
Don't
queen.
matter.
Queen 10.
All red
Coming out
cards
all
coming.
diamonds.
Queen of diamond or king of heart. You pick
I
one.
love how he calls out just random cards. It's so good. That's the Sony needle.
All right,
That's
then
so
queen of
good.
diamond,
Look at
king of
It's
heart.
so
Queen of diamond,
underrated.
king of heart.
And like he'll flop
Queen of
trips and
diamond,
still be
king of
calling
heart.
for cards.
Queen of diamond.
Look at that. Queen of diamonds. He called it. All right, well now Steve's got the open ender, Jack 9.
Queen. Flip.
Sony just drills another queen.
Wait for the lunch, okay?
Sony offered to buy him lunch.
Wait for lunch. Yeah, that's a needle though. That's like a little needle. Hey,
It's such a mental game.
wait for me after I ship this because I knocked you out. I'll get you lunch.
Play a big one now, you want
Lunch, don't worry about it, buddy. We'll go to Buena Beef. It's so good.
Well, my
you
pick
want
to click
lunch?
is down in flames
Okay,
with
take your money.
the guy that I said
Now
the
you will go
format
for
was
lunch,
good
that's
for
fine.
and probably should have picked.
Yeah.
Who's now the old rum and chip leader. And, Steve did nothing wrong.
And it'll kind of open up the game too, because now you're down to 3. Sony's going to have a bigger chip stack. Sony's going to switch gears now. He's going to start pressing.
Because
Pushing,
Sony
'cause
is
he
like,
can.
if Sony picks up the
I
blinds,
had to.
3 straight hands,
The way you
like
want to.
they're both just like all in.
And now the blind's 2-4. He's picking up 10K in chips.
On 2000?
Yeah. It's a third of the other guy's stacks.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
Hey, you gonna stick around or you leaving?
All right, well, Brando takes a break to get some water for his cough.
Why do I want to stick around?
Go get a
with
water.
you guys?
I do so.
Okay, that's fine.
Back down to the small blind, big blind. Sony is going to do it. He raises it up. Looks like 7K. Just pushing around Marty.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Marty's just in the worst spot because he's got to battle the small blind, big blind against Sony, who's a chip leader, also very aggressive, willing to put chips in the pot, especially now that he's got chips to play with. Like Marty's in the worst spot, the worst table draw at the particular moment where the chip stacks are. It's going to be hard for Marty. Marty's going to have to catch some hands
Right,
here.
you need the cards at this point. Like, there's nothing really. You're handicapped on how much you can play. I mean, obviously you can play. You can decide whether to go all in with better hands.
But I feel like at this
But the
point,
skill level,
Sony's
diminished.
not going to let him just
dictate when he gets to shove, when he gets to
correct.
steal.
Correct.
Like, so, this is Sony's table now. Look, he's all in. And now again, Sony has a good hand here, but like Sony could not have a good hand here and just do
Right,
this.
just keep doing it.
Now Chris does have 50K,
Oh, God.
so he can be a little careful.
Game will move
Yeah,
fast.
but again, even if you lose,
Yeah.
it's still not. It's not. You're not out of the tournament, and you're still gonna have 50K in chips, 40-something thousand.
Yeah, I
Right,
love
and
to
A,
do
Chris
that.
has to pick up a good enough hand to call. B,
That was
then
just
actually
a-
make the
Wait,
call. Then
no, this
C,
was not a bully.
you
actually get a
then
good run
actually
out.
win.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
even
watch
if
TV,
he picks
Ben
up
knows
kings
there
and
was
it's
a good
70-30,
one.
Sony still wins 30% of the time. It's like a lot of stuff has to go wrong.
And in all honesty, he didn't even mind if Marty calls because it's 25K.
I don't
Yeah.
mind
Like,
trying.
Like, think about the parlay of things that has to happen for like.
ooh, Sony with 5s. We might see another all in here.
I would like it. I would just. What did I
especially if
say?
it's a limp.
If Sony picks up the blinds 2 or 3 more times, all of a
Good luck
sudden
over there, buddy.
everybody's lost.
What are
A
you
little bit of ICM here. Chris doesn't want to go out before Marty. $200 pay jump. It is something to consider. And I mean, when you've played this long for only 300, an extra 200 kind of seems like a lot.
Yeah, now.
So exactly what happened. Call, and what do you know? Sony goes all in with 5s. Because again, he's willing to race, and the other two are far less likely to race.
Yep.
And Marty gets stuck in the middle because
And like Chris could fold like 10s here.
yeah.
Like it's not.
And we could 100% see Marty call with an ace here and
Right.
be perfectly.
Yep.
It's justifiable 100%. He's thinking about it right now.
But here's the thing: when Sony does this, it's
a pocket
unexploitable,
pair?
right?
Yeah.
That's the word we always use. You can't be exploited. Like, go ahead, Marty. You make the decision with ace 3. I've done mine. My chips are in the pot.
And I like the show here too from Sony because he wants the players to know, hey, I'm not just playing the big stack pushing you guys around. I actually have good hands
So that
too.
opens it up for him to just have
To be
9-3
able
and do
to
it again.
100%. Like that's why I love the show there. I love the 5s show. Look, I have a hand. I will race you, and I'm totally fine with it. Coming down to the wire, 3-handed. Marty's our super short stack, 15K in chips now.
Super short stack.
Super short stack. Chris is kind of at this point getting out of the way between these two. He's kind of willing to let Sony push around. Marty got the better table draw here. He's got Sony to his left. He can dictate what he wants to do.
By Marty, you mean?
Sorry.
Yes, Marty.
Chris has the better spot right now.
Check.
Marty flopped a deuce. Marty, get it in there, dog.
So, like, this is another hand where, like, Sony could have just ripped it, and Marty would have folded.
Yep.
I mean, he doesn't. He's going to play the long game.
Marty's got the deuce. He's got the deuce club blocker. Come on, Marty.
I mean, of all the hands from Marty to
Oh, no,
stick it
Sony
in.
bet into him 4,500.
Yeah, Marty's got a decision. Marty's got the worst pair and the worst flush draw.
Yeah.
Marty's a guy that likes to play high cards.
Can he hero call this?
Here with the
I
nine
don't
deuce.
think he can.
Nope.
Yeah. You know your nine's no good.
Rightfully
You're not
so.
thinking your two's good. You're pretty sure your club's not good. That's just a recipe
Chris,
for
I got a whole lot of nothing.
crap.
A lot, I
And
got a
even
lot of
his-
different things, but it's all shit.
You can just see it on his face there. It's just like, I got nothing. I can't do anything. Even if he's bluffing, I can't do anything. Table
was
draw.
bluffing.
Table draw's real.
Yeah.
What do you want, sir?
5-1.
Table draw is real.
I give you nickels.
Chris is in panic mode right now. The Twister is upon him. He needs to do it. Do you know they're remaking the movie Twister?
I do. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
I loved that
Me
movie.
too. I love the Universal Studios ride.
Also a great ride.
Yeah, gone, obviously.
It's gone now?
Yeah.
No, that was such a
Everything's
good one.
gone. E.T.'s the only OG left.
E.T.
Back to the Future gone.
Yeah. Jaws gone.
Jaws gone.
All right, Chris with a good hand. Actually, everybody looks pretty good three-handed here.
We got suits. We got connectivity.
Everybody's suited.
500.
Sony's not going to let it go.
All right,
Chris limped.
Knock on Sony. Use some big chips here, dog.
Yep. Marty, you probably should get out of the way at this moment. You got no money in the pot. You got just a small blind, 2K in the pot. Get rid of it.
Yeah. But
You don't want to
Marty's
fight
gonna-
against two players here.
Marty's got him one more time around, though. He's got basically four hands to pick a hand before he loses all of his fold equity. I think he has to win it.
That's okay, I'll take it.
Heads up.
Chris calls,
Pretty comfortable.
He's
though.
got the best
I'll
hand.
take it.
but Sony's got the driver's seat. He's got the button. Flop the flush draw for Chris. Chris jammy jammies.
Yeah, queen of diamond is good.
Waste no
King
time.
didn't show up, eh?
Reluctant fold from Sony.
Ooh,
But again, Sony does all of those hands where he picks up the blinds, and then you can do this, and you're
lost-
still
you
net
lost
profit.
One big blind there.
Still
Two
net
big-
profiting.
Yeah.
Yep,
that's flop.
solid poker. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think Chris could have checked because Sony's continuation bet every single
small
time.
blind
Chris
too?
checked to him in those spots.
Yeah.
And then jam on top of him.
Yep.
Maybe would have got a little bit more. But hey, take it down.
Either way, it's
Flush
fine.
draw. Yeah, Chris is happy. Marty.
Come on, Marty, get a hand here, dog.
This hand. Oh, 2-4. This hand. of the
There
next
you go,
set, Marty.
sixes!
Oh, sixes are slammed.
Come on, slam in those
I
sixes.
also just love that the ping pong table is like featured.
Yeah, it's so good. It's part of the studio.
It is.
All right, Marty's obviously all in, and Sony, unfortunately, he's got the two overs.
16,800.
He's gonna call and be very happy with this flip.
98.
Oh, I got the 10-8 offsuit and I'm 50%. Sweet, I'll take it every day.
He's struggling with this call though. He's thinking about it. He don't want to let him because Marty's basically going to double up here.
Yeah, he doesn't. Either way, he feels like he loses.
Yeah.
If I fold, then Marty doubles. If I call, then Marty can basically more than double and have chips.
Yeah, it's only 10. It's 9,200 to call. Like you got to
Yeah,
call.
it's 2.5 big blinds.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
let's
just
hope
it
I
is
have
what
two
it is.
overs.
And Marty's going to have to win a race to stay alive.
Give me
Which
an
kind of
ace.
sucks for Marty. You're up against a random hand. I know it's sixes and it's going to be a race a lot, but how about they just have ace 4?
Right. One time, give me just. I got it.
7-6.
Right.
Suited.
7-8.
No, 8
Sony
ball.
flops an 8.
Yep.
Six.
Ah, the dream 6 on
No
the river.
Not a nice one. Take your word.
Yes, Marty.
I was in there like,
You know,
Hey, I was ready to go home.
Nice hand.
you know who's
You
tilting
you
about
have
that
a-
is probably Mike. Mike's like, I gotta pee.
Ah, no.
I gotta go to CC. I need lunch. I'm hungry. I want to play ping pong.
And they've asked.
And then Marty
They
just
ask
rips
for
a
breaks,
six.
and like Brandon running the table, you get breaks. Kenny
Already-
running the table,
already 30.
no
We're
We're getting
breaks.
this over with.
What are we looking at? 2,000.
Just drills a 6 on the river. Best hand never loses.
Oh, that's never ends.
Marty's still at 7 big blinds though.
Yeah, that really just bought Marty another orbit or two.
Yeah.
Didn't,
Wow.
Oh, big kings from Chris, but no second best hand here.
Yeah.
Do you limp with the kings here?
No.
4,000.
4, yeah.
Keep it consistent, but I would just go at 9.
8,000.
8.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, problem here is you got to go 8 when you're stealing too. Then
Yeah.
you can't only go 8 when you got kings.
Right.
But Marty doesn't even give him the extra. He doesn't give him the extra
Kings.
Wow.
the 6-5, which I would because I'm just a fish. If I got 6,000 in there and I'm off of Marty's stack, I'm doing a little bump and run, calling the 4,000, trying to
See-
flop a gutter ball or a
Right.
pair, and then
See
just
what
open ribbon
happens.
it. Obviously, I would flop a 6 and then lose
Put the
to
kings. Yeah, put the kings to a test.
Yeah, but you know, in my, I would hope that they don't have kings. But,
Sometimes they do.
yep. And Chris emerging here,
Yeah.
63,000. Feel like we hit the
Chipping
home
up.
stretch and he
Chipping
like
up a
took the
little bit.
outside and. Yep. 90, 60, 25 chip counts.
Chris with 10s, Marty with the big ace jack, Sony with an ace
Wow,
6.
this is,
going to be a hand. Sony, good bet here. Looks like 8,000,
9,000.
9,000.
9,000.
All in.
Marty's all,
All in and all in.
Chris is all
and
in.
now what does
Exactly
Sony
happened
do
now.
at this
He went
point?
Sony loses
also
2
went
big
all in?
blinds
Yes.
and bucks.
Holy cow. I thought I
And
had
he's
a
very
big
happy
blind.
about it.
And hope you bust a
I
player
was
and
in
get
a
heads up.
situation Last time, 3-way all in. I
Or
couldn't
he's
stack
thinking,
it.
I could just end the tournament right now.
I regretted I should have folded. So I think I learned my lessons last
He's the
time.
best.
So I
He really is.
Sitting there talking to Kenny about
Yep.
he folded
Yeah,
a
you
hand
take
an
this
hour
step
ago
in
and he
the
shouldn't have.
I'm gonna.
He's going to get out of the way, let him go.
Yeah, ace jack.
Marty rolls
I don't
over the
wanna
ace
tell you what I
jack.
folded.
Chris with 10s. I
Yeah,
mean,
this is a race. Marty won a 1 race.
No later.
he's
Can he
going to have to win
one?
another race. Well, he wins a race here, Marty could be
Yeah.
it's huge.
That's gonna
And-
flop.
Flop just drills a
And I hit one of my
10.
cards.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a tough race to win.
And I would have lost. At
And I would have
ace
lost.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, sir.
no shame in Marty's game there.
Are you playing?
Yeah,
No
there's
shame in Marty's
Nothing
game.
Marty could do there.
Nope,
And last
he played
month I
well.
couldn't play because I was traveling. There
Yeah,
are so many events. So there's only one I missed here.
Good game, man. Thank you.
He played well, man.
Good game, Marty.
And you left me with this
It's nice when you
monster
play in a
here.
poker tournament where everybody's kind of cordial and having a good time.
Yeah, and I feel like all 5 of these, or everyone we've done, everyone's just like gone in with a good attitude.
Yep.
Everyone's been
I wish
appreciative.
if
A
it-
bunch of
if this
thank
was
yous. A bunch of
outcome,
this is cool.
then you should have
Like,
got
just
the
so much
river
more
on
like
last time.
This is a good time.
outpouring than yeah. Everyone's just like they don't really care about the money. They're just here to have fun, and like they're all going to go to the early bird or the deep stack afterwards and play. And this is just straight bonus. It's just literally the definition of a free roll.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're the button.
No, but
I moved the button. The button's dead, right?
On Chris.
Oh, it's not dead?
Yeah, there's no dead button, Mike.
Chris is small blind.
Yeah,
So
heads
for
up.
anybody who's wondering, when there's 3 ways and the guy gets out, whoever was just the big blind has to be the
The,
small blind.
yeah, the button.
No,
Yeah,
it's the same.
which is the button.
Which is a little weird because pre-flop heads-up play, the button actually acts first, which it does throw some players off.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of times, and I think Chris does it right here. You're the button,
Right.
you got to call pre-flop, and then the flop comes, and you instantly just check or bet, and it's like,
Well, no, it's
yeah, it's
I know
not
you
on
acted
you.
first, but now you acted
Yeah,
second.
it's like you got to be a little aware of that. And it only happens on that first hand that comes out right away.
actually, it improves your game if you go back and see what you did.
Oh, trust me.
Chris flops jack.
Jack.
You know, but those are the 2 hands I
But
know
we've
that
seen
I
this.
7,300.
Sony just going to try and pick it up.
7,300.
But again, it's because Chris
But
checked
overall, I'm happy
Yeah.
with my.
out of turn.
Right.
I mean, you've seen.
Chris is in there.
Yeah, of course he is. He flopped top pair.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, he flopped 2 pair.
I was just
I didn't
looking
even
at
see the
check.
2 pair.
Yeah, neither did I. Everyone at home's like, yeah, 2 pair, guys.
2 pair, guys.
check.
Ace on the turn.
Like, you know, the match.
Sony's out of the way now. It
He
doesn't
is,
matter what
and I mean,
happens.
Chris is hoping that Sony turned an ace.
Sony
Yep.
checks.
He's gonna
But
show it.
heads up play, an ace comes on the turn. You're not really worried that the other guy's got an ace.
No, you want him to have it. You got 2 pair.
I mean, there he does, but,
Yes, but in
typically
general,
speaking,
in general.
he's not going to have an ace.
So Chris
Tomorrow,
is the chip leader.
The senior. Are
We
you
got 180K to play. Who would have thought?
Or did
90
they-
players
I'm
times
really-
20,000.
We're free-rolling
Breeze
now.
game.
That's true, but I mean, like, what I want is like, I want that seat for the gold strike.
Oh, that's small.
Oh, there's
Marty's a good guy who was there
there's a
yesterday
560
asking, he's like, hey,
tomorrow?
thought this thing was coming out on Thursday. I was like, yeah, I was sick as a dog on
580.
Thursday.
That you get the seat for the
It was
5
bad.
minutes.
But here we are, Saturday morning,
Buy the
getting it
seats
done.
directly.
Saturday afternoon, I guess
Yeah.
now.
That's
Small blinds.
Is this coming out tonight?
I
Yeah.
mean, what you and I talked about.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Put it right out.
Definitely give me something to really
All right,
think
so
about.
action is on Sony.
Okay.
He's the
I
button
want to
and
play
small blind.
tomorrow, but I'm going
He
to go buy
calls.
into 580.
Chris 9-7 offsuit. We're probably going to a flop.
Oh, yeah.
Check.
Even in chips, rather low blinds,
Four
two
thousand.
rather passive
That's
guys. I
4,000.
mean, we could see a little bit of a heads-up match here.
Well,
That
Ken,
lasts
officially, it's nice meeting you. I mean,
20,
'cause all
30,
other
40
times,
hands.
You know, it's just passing by, or you're at your desk, or you're busy doing something. So I got to see you.
Best charity
You're magic
poker
here.
manager in the country, dude. You're the best charity poker manager in the country.
Thank you, Sony.
Wow, best charity poker manager in the country. That's
Actually,
strong.
I
Pretty-
quit
pretty
long
legit.
back
I would say that's
because
100%
I started
true.
coming
Yeah,
in
clip
with the COVID of, I think it was about 6 months ago.
Also clip
Yeah,
up the
that's
the part where we
the
still
main
find
event,
something.
that's
Big
big
blind
blind
back.
back.
Blinds are up
That's why the
again.
main event seats
I
are
think they're going to
back.
sneak this hand in really quick at 2-4,
After so many years.
2-4-2.
Marty.
See you, Marty.
Marty's out the
Then I
door,
got
and then there were
2,000.
3.
Yeah,
saw
Well,
him?
then there were
Yeah.
2 in the dealer. And a Ken.
Okay.
Raise it up. 14. 14,000.
Sony with jacks.
Fold.
Chris just tried to see a cheap flop with 3-4 suited. Sony punished him with jacks. Chris mucks. 100,000 for Chris. 80,000 for Sony. On the nose.
On the nose.
See, we took a break and then colored up.
Yeah, I know.
So
It is the bonus of the break.
which is good. So
Then we don't have Sony putting 10K out in black.
Call.
But we're heads up now, and he's using his big chips, so I'm done complaining about him. So we have Chris, kind of a dark horse, and Sony, kind of a, heavyweight favorite,
4,000.
battling it out here. That might have been one of the coolest snap calls I've ever seen. I kind of want to clip that at the 2-hour mark. I know I'm just saying clipping a lot of things, but Chris just absolutely snap called quicker than I've ever seen anybody snap call. And then we got a check turn. Sony's going for some value with a 9 on the river. And Chris decides, hey, I don't have the best hand. And he's correct. He does not have the best hand. Sony wins the pot.
Yeah.
Look at these chip stacks now.
90-90.
90-90. For those of you counting at home,
They're
They're tied.
totally even.
so now we're up 3-6-3. And action's going to be on Chris.
I'll call.
I'll be here.
And check.
Chris calls. Sony checks.
It's on me, it's on me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, check, go ahead.
10,000. Fold.
Nice one.
And we have a check. And Chris bets, takes it down. I mean, flop the best hand. This is the thing about heads up poker. You're going to have a lot of, best hand betting and then the worst hand folding and taking it down.
It's an easy game.
It is. So what are we looking at? 6,000 big blind. They actually don't have that many big blinds. I mean, they're fine because they're heads up. They're both sitting in like the 18
Yeah.
range, which is comfortable heads up because there's there's no resistance besides your one opponent, obviously.
Players all. Fold.
Sony shoves the ace-9. So we're still in a situation where, 15, 16 bigs, we're just going to shove our really good
Yep.
hands. But Sony could have raised there and just doubled it and played it. We're in that middle range where everything kind of goes. I mean, yeah, they both have, 15 big blinds each.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good math.
I'll call.
Chris with the queen 9. Going to come in. And Sony checks.
How much do you have to change up your play in heads-up play?
It's really a lot differently. I mean, it's obviously, I always say this, it's so much player dependent.
Right.
But like I don't even know. I couldn't even give you an answer. Like, well, if you were Sony, what would you do compared to if you were Chris? What would you do? Like, I don't know the answer to that right now. But you do change it up a lot, and we never get the heads up to like after experience. No. But like the whole shorthanded is something that tournament players really aren't accustomed to playing.
Well, and it's
but you need to be able to play 5-4 3-handed to win a tournament.
And it's so regular now that you get to 3-4 2 heads up play normally doesn't exist because so many people just chop it up, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. But when you go to like a WSOP and you go to like the big time stuff, and you have to play
all the money.
Yeah, there's a huge pay jumps.
Biggest pay jump in the tournament you're playing for right now.
Correct.
Everybody. You're playing for the title, the fame, the everything, whatever, bracelet, ring, and then all of a sudden you're going in, well, I'm pretty experienced at heads up. Well, you're going to get smoked by somebody who's good.
Right. Who's actually taking the time to play those. Right.
And obviously,
like right here, King 9, King 6, like this could be a troublesome spot. I feel like when your head's up, it's so much more dependent on how you actually play the player versus like in a full ring 100%, game, 100%. Right? Like the cards so much speak more for themselves.
Cards mean the least in heads up play.
Check.
They both got an open ender.
No, Chris drilled it.
Chris has got it. Man, what a great turn card for Chris.
Sony insta folds, I think. And
Chris shows the second none or betters.
I folded.
But you really, I mean, I would say I'm really inexperienced with heads up hold'em. Heads up hold'em. And I mean, I feel like I would just get owned by somebody good.
All right.
You really can't do much here with 14 bigs. There's only so much. These guys are both. I would say this is even.
Yeah.
No matter. Even if Sony knows exactly how Chris is playing,
doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter at this.
This late in the tournament. Yes. Yeah. We're not playing main event stacks here where you've got...
It's 50, 60, 70.
There's play left,
There's
right?
So much play.
They're getting good cards right now.
They really are.
Call in. There's all it.
Well.
God bless him. Takes the time to register his hand, even though he knows he's going to fold. Like, that's a solid player.
Yeah.
Chris is welcome
lazy
to play.
Guys would be like, 6-3, I'm just going to muck
Chuck it. Yeah. Sixes. Chris is welcome to play at the CCG Poker Studios at any point in time. Sony is obviously too. They're both such gentleman players, which I find is a rarity sometimes, that people feel like you got to be a jerk to like win poker tournaments.
To be this persona poker tournament asshole.
Right. Yeah. Correct. And you don't need to do that to win.
Yeah.
It's not like definitively you have to do that to play, and I feel like a lot of people don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
These two guys
can play heads up with a smile on their face.
Absolutely. Ace A7, big flops by Mike, but poor cards dealt out.
Yeah.
6.
Sony's dominating here with a 10 high.
Fold.
Chris drilled a deuce on the turn.
That's it.
Got it.
And we really haven't seen, somebody hit a hand and then bet, and then the other person give them any resistance.
Right.
Okay, you bet, you win.
Just like that.
But nobody's bluffing. Yeah, 10 bigs.
Chris has got Sony kind of 2-1 here. Almost 2-1.
All right, well, I need to concentrate here because I guessed 88 hands, guys, and I don't know where we're at, but I'm feeling pretty good.
Hand number coming up.
Like 80, I think, or 81, or 79, somewhere like.
If I ever turn the machine on?
Yep. Yeah.
81. Ooh, Brando.
I don't want to go over.
Chris folds the king there.
Yep. But it is with a deuce in its offsuit. But it is heads up, and some people on the button would say king deuce is plenty good heads up to raise. Mm-hmm. Other people say, I got
why get involved?
What am I going to do?
Why get involved? You don't really want to hit a deuce, and you're
you
always worried about kicker.
You got to go to your skill set. If you're one of those guys that knows exactly where you're at post flop and likes to play in position, and you're okay with giving them good odds and them turning you and stuff, get in there. If you want to avoid all that, just sacrifice your position and your half of a big blind and fold.
And call it a day.
Call it a day. And then get dealt queen 5 of clubs the next hand.
At least that one's suited.
It is.
Against better. Sony's king 5.
Uh-huh.
This could be a little troublesome.
We need a 5. Okay. We get a
lot
flush
of paired
Chris.
boards here.
Yeah. And Chris does what he does best. He leads.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a flush draw.
Yeah. Sony's a non-believer, rightfully so. I'm glad that we finally see some resistance here from somebody. Now, Sony's going to like his hand even more, and Chris likes his hand less.
6.
Chris Rivers a flush. Sony mucks. Chris shows again. What a guy.
Nice.
Worried about that too.
And now we see, Chris pulling away a little bit, 70-30 in chips. So even if he doubled up Sony, he would only be a slight underdog, non-chip leader. He'd only be slightly behind Sony with a full double up here. Chris, King Deuce again. Let's see if he does the same thing he did with the last King Deuce. He does. He had King Deuce on the button 2 hands ago.
Folded both times.
And he folded.
Consistency is key.
It is.
Oh, it's 3. 3 in the move.
Oh, 3.
And we're getting the blind settled.
I call.
Call.
Sony limps, 85 bears. Chris. All right, here's one where I would say, Chris, we got to put some more chips in the pot here. Let him see a flop. We got King Jack heads up. And we flop top pair.
6,000.
He has a gutter ball.
We could see some bets here.
We could. I wish we had a little bit more money in pre-flop.
Call.
We could see some bigger bets here.
Bet and a call.
Swing and a miss for Sony.
12.
Gives
Not
him a
the-
double belly buster now.
True.
9 or 6 makes him the straight.
9-6, 9-6, 9-6,
I didn't even look at the
9-6.
top. I was just doing that off the top of my head. Bet 12,000 from Chris. Sony calls. Let's see what the river brings us. Could be the end of the tournament.
10,000.
Looks like Sony missed. Big ace on the river.
Ace.
Doesn't scare Chris at all.
Chris is definitely scared inside, though.
Well,
And he shows.
I like
love
it.
I love
I
it.
like it.
All right, now that's a huge pop for Chris here.
Yep.
And I don't mean to get too excited. I'm hoping to hit on hand number 88. I don't
84
know.
right now.
I know, 80. Yeah.
Might not make it to 80, 88.
Come on, dude.
It's close.
I don't
It's
know.
gonna be close.
Either way, I feel like it was a good peg.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, especially if we're going prices right rules, you're out.
Yeah, the button's there.
Out?
Over.
Okay, thank God. Jesus.
It's 3,000 here.
And now Sony's basically all in her fold. I mean, 3,000, 6,000. I think he's got, what, 30K left? He got 5
We
bigs.
might see it right here.
Yeah, 5 bigs and an ace is an all-in every time.
Suited ace on top of it. I
Absolutely.
mean,
You can just deal me the single ace.
30,
Yep.
And I'm in.
I just look at the ace.
One
I'm all
card.
in.
No, I don't even need a 3. Like, I don't even play it.
Yep.
I just one. I got the ace of clubs. You got king 9.
3 versus king.
And here we go.
All right. We gonna see a winner here. Chris is standing up for this one.
You'll pick one. I like
Or
that.
I feel like Chris feels like he's going
Ace
to hit
king will
it.
be fine.
Sony's muttering some cards.
Two is good.
Queen 6-3.
Three.
He hit his 3, but nobody cares about that.
Eight.
Got to fade a king or a 9 to stay alive. He does. Sony wins.
Okay.
Back up to 100.
3,000.
107 to 73.
10,000. 15.
It's a big winner.
Yeah, and now I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling 88's a lock.
These are high. They were
88's a lock.
Oh, I'm right.
Hand number 85 coming up.
36.
5, 15, 30, 32, 6.
35 right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we just took that break and colored up.
I'll call her up right now.
Uh-huh.
Bing, bang, boom.
Big bang boom.
Taking some of those black chips out of play.
6. That was yours.
No, I need one more double up to even come close to him. Oh,
One more double up, he says.
Yes,
Folks.
Sony. One more double up would make you massive chip leader. That would be
double
nice.
up to
Chris has other ideas.
right now. I think You got about 65%.
16, yeah.
65%, and I got about 35% choice.
Mike shuffles those cards so delicately because
He's good at
he
it.
was there that one day that you were yelling at me for snapping the cards.
What is it? 80,000?
3, yeah.
Sony 10-5.
Got it, Ken?
I wonder if he's going to use all those chips and
I call.
Got a call.
calls.
Chris has got mystery hand.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Chris, King 9 checks.
King 9 suited.
Yeah.
Could have justified a raise there.
Jack 4.
Check.
Check, check. Queen hits nobody still. Stoney does have the only diamond in play. Chris gonna bet into him.
Call.
Sony floating here with 10 high and 10 high flush draw. Blinds are up next hand.
London, next hand.
Check.
I missed my flush.
King high? Yeah, check, check.
Yeah, king plays.
King high winner. Chris takes it down.
Nice.
Sony 10 big blinds. Not even. Blinds just went up again. So I think we're at 484. So Sony is going to have to put up 12K of his 60K there.
Ooh, cash game starting early in Central Illinois.
Wow.
Money bonus. Chris takes it down with the king high.
I'm telling you, those people in Danville, they like poker.
2-1. Chris's advantage. Hand number 86 or 87.
I don't know. I'm
It's
tilting now
close,
because I mean,
close.
I just want to cash this over and get out of town.
87! Oh my god, it's gonna be so close!
Fold. Sony.
89 suited for Sony looks so pretty heads up,
Ship
but
it! We're there, 88.
is this gonna be it? I don't know.
I would love it. I swear on all of everything that I have in this world, I just picked a random number, 88.
89.
All right, both players are fairly aggressive in the idea here of 45% to 42%. I like it. Chris has still got his poker face on. He's ready to go.
Can't take much from that data,
Yeah.
besides that it's even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't really know what is 40 aggression factor, and it heads up changes a
All right.
lot.
Chris seems to get lots of suited cards.
does.
He's got Sony
Check.
dead to rights
We
here.
need
for
a 7.
7-5.
7 and end this on hand
7
88.
will end it on 88. 954. Sony gets a 5. Bets it out. Chris is done. Oh no, hand number 88's gone.
That's okay.
89 maybe?
89. That's like still the nuts.
Still pretty good.
Especially in Price is Right rules.
Price is Right rules. Yeah, you win
gotta be
bonus
under.
time if you hit it right on.
Yeah. Or an extra wheel spin or a bonus time. Or I don't know.
You get bonus money. I think in the old days on Price is Right, if you hit the price, like
On the
you
nose.
won the item and like
$1,000.
I don't know, I think it was like $200 or something crazy. Like not very expensive.
Yeah. All right,
All
so
right, big ace for Sony. Doesn't even get to see it. Shows the ace. Goes to the next hand. Hand number 90, folks. These players have been grinding for 4 hours.
Yeah, 90, and then they played an hour and 15 minutes prior to being on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's almost probably 4 o'clock there. They've been playing for 4 hours.
Coming down to game time here. Can Chris pull out a win on the massive Sony final table list, the most final tabler of all free rolls? 89 suited. I love it. Chris, what do we got?
You good. Go ahead, Sony.
Chris is working on getting out his blinds. Okay, one thing at a time here. He's got to look at his cards. He's got to put his cards on the camera. He's got to play. He's got to put chips out. I mean,
Heads up on these tables
It
is
is.
very difficult.
it is like, yeah.
Like it's a lot.
18 all day.
He's trying to ship a tournament here. Is this a race?
Yeah, I raised to 18.
I call.
Yep.
There you go.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. All right, let's see what Chris has got. Little help from the floor. Oh, jacks!
8 high flop, 8 high flop, 8 high flop.
9 high flop.
9 high flop. 9
That's
high
the
flop, 9 high
worst.
flop.
That's the worst.
That's all the chips are getting in.
Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about this.
Look at Sony doesn't even want to do it.
He doesn't.
He knows.
He knows.
He literally knows.
He doesn't like where he's at. He's got great intuition.
He really does. Like if he could just somehow like muck this,
You
it would
can't
be just
teach.
the best.
You can't teach intuition like this.
No. The problem is, you know, and you still do it.
You have to.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Your head's up. The guy
he's gonna be like,
calls.
watch, he's gonna be back into it.
Yep. You got me. Good hand.
Flat.
What's he gonna ask for?
Diamond. 8, 9.
Diamond.
Diamond.
He wants diamond.
Nice. I think you got me
Nice
covered.
game.
4 or 5. Good hand, guys. Thank you as always for watching. Chris played a great game. Sony, always a good time to see on TV. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Lead us out of here, Brando.
Farewell, everyone. See you next week, Black Friday.
Black
Early bird.
Friday.
Kings Hall.
Absolutely. See you next time. Bye, everybody.